Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. We are less than one full day away to opening night in the NBA on TNT. Also, ladies and gentlemen, one more day away from being happy. Like, I don't know about you. I watched some football yesterday because I was with family, and gosh, it's just so boring. So the NBA returning is literally excitement returning to my life. Hopefully, it is to yours. Thank you for wherever you are joining us any part of your day here on Hoop Spaces. We are appreciative. Newsletter just went live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get that up here so you can go ahead and subscribe. It'll come out mostly daily with news and notes, recap from the highlights of last night, top performers. We'll get that up and running and use the first couple of weeks to fine tune that. Also, ladies and gentlemen, over at hoopspaces.com, we have most of the season previews. The remaining teams of the Western Conference will be done today and tomorrow in time for tip off. But don't worry, I have the Los Angeles Lakers and Golden State Warriors ready to go. I'll get that up here. I'll be back in about 30. Good morning, everybody. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are T minus 1 day to the opening of the 2022-2023 NBA regular season. Today is just going to be a kickback day. A lot of AMA. If you got questions about any team, go ahead and get ready to ask them. We'll get you the best answer. I'm going to get the show card up. It's always a great day to talk basketball, and it's also always a great day to read basketball. I'm going to get the newsletter I've promised you up in the tweet box as well. I want to say good morning to Jose and Rolo, two of the three hosts of 77 Spaces. I see Saint from Nets Kingdom in the building. It's always great to see you guys. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you can come up and tell us exactly what you're looking forward to in opening night. And besides that, I hope that you're doing well because it's been a long off season, especially for the Nets and the Warriors. I tell you, man, it's been rough. We'll get into some news and notes. It's always a great day to talk ball. The show card is up there. I ask that you like and retweet it for me so that we can show the people that we are here. Also, the newsletter is up and running. The issue I have, though, is that even though I edited everything, it doesn't look the way that it was supposed to be. But we'll fix that. They said in a couple of hours it should look right. Both of those tweets are up there, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So do me a favor, click on that and hit read, and it'll take you over to Get Review. And you can subscribe simply by putting in your email address, and you will get it directly to your mailbox. And look, if you look there, it's real simple. Like, it's going to give you a primer of what to look for the day, the news and notes. The only thing you don't see is the actual recap because we haven't had a basketball game yet. Hopefully, you enjoyed the issue, and if not, don't tell me. Just subscribe anyway. All right, Bonkai is in the building. Joe, the historian, is in the building, and I see ASAP Brooklyn also in the building. It's great to see you guys. We'll go real fast. Real fast. We're going to give you a long recap of the offseason. The Golden State Warriors beat the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals, and that started what we have now come to learn as the dead period in sports. We are left to fend for ourselves. A lot of us went over to the WNBA because for me, I don't do football. Baseball during the summer is kind of boring as well. And we had a wonderful time learning how to be fans of the WNBA. But our bread and butter is back, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have any questions, look forward to talking with you. What was the biggest move in the offseason? And I think what people will realize is that it was the Rudy Gobert trade from Utah to Minnesota. No one move through the entirety of the offseason mattered more. It impacted every future trade, it impacted every future free agent signing, and it set forth an arms race of stockpiling draft picks across the board. As Utah has entered the fray, Oklahoma City has already been there. New York is actually doing a good job. You have Detroit as well. So a lot of teams are getting ready to move into the next era of the NBA, which is going to be internal player development, because we are entering a period of time where we're leaving one era and entering another. And even though we have a lot of young stars like Jason Tatum, the emergence of Jalen Green, we still don't have the beefed up talent pool behind those stars. That's actually what makes the NBA really pop off now, is we have the highest of the high of one generation of LeBron James and Steph Curry and KD, but the next wave has just now hit their beginning of the summit of the height. You've got Giannis at 27. You have Devin Booker at 24. You've got Luka Doncic at 23. All of them coming into their own. And so we're going to have, I think, one of the most competitive and entertaining seasons this year. But I also think that we'll start seeing the teams of the future, and the Golden State Warriors can be one of them. Good morning to everybody who's popped in. If you want a mic, go ahead and grab it. If not, we're just going to go through a recap overall of the entirety of the offseason. We'll go team by team real quick. The Atlanta Hawks made splashes this offseason. They traded for DeJounte Murray from the San Antonio Spurs, made a couple of free agent signings, as well as a couple of free agent losses. They're looking, if you agree with me, to about 46, 48 wins in a very tough Eastern Conference. I don't know if Trae Young and DeJounte Murray are enough. John Collins has to return back to his form from a couple of years ago. It would also help if DeAndre Hunter can stay healthy. If that is the case, that gives them two wings on the outside who can stretch the floor, rebound, and play defense. I think a lot of people are discounting how good Atlanta can be, primarily because they went to the Eastern Conference Finals and all the fan base went live and then the following year, they had a dud. I think Atlanta is going to be uber competitive. One of the biggest things we're going to have to end up figuring out is if their bench can equal the production of most other benches. The Charlotte Hornets in the Southeast Division, man, it's going to be a rough year for Charlotte. LaMelo Ball went down with injury, and even before that, they kind of miffed on the entirety of the offseason, partly due to Miles Bridges' unfortunate events, which has been delayed in the legal system once again. Alleged accusations of spousal abuse or partner abuse and child abuse, still waiting adjudication through the court system so that the NBA can figure out what the punishment is or will be. And beyond that, they really have nothing to really get happy about in Charlotte. Let's just be honest. They made a couple of draft picks and draft day trades. They end up getting Mark Williams. He can turn out to be fine, but like he hasn't really even replaced Plumlee or Kai Jones in that order. So it's just going to be tough. They're going to have to rely on development of James Bouknight to come in and give them, some extra offense without LaMelo Ball there. Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward are going to be leaned upon heavily. And I think there's a good chance that we could see Kemba Walker once again don the teal down in Charlotte. So if you have any questions so far about Atlanta, Charlotte, and you can't come up, put it in the chat box down below or send a tweet and at me. Following in the Southeast Division, we have the Miami Heat. Miami lost PJ Tucker. They really thought they were going to be able to re-sign him. They did not think he was going to go to a Eastern Conference rival in Philadelphia. And they decided to replace him with Caleb Martin, who's really more of a 2 and a 3. But he did have a above par season last year, which ended with him getting a 3-year contract extension and a raise somewhere in the realm of $7.5 million a year on average. They are going to, again, rely, as they always do, on internal development. Last year, you saw Gabe Vincent and Max Struess. The year before that, you have Duncan Robinson. Well, this year, it looks like you have Haywood Highsmith and Jamal Cain. I don't know how Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra do it, but they tend to find one or two guys that nobody either ever heard of or haven't seen in years and make them into relative, NBA talent. And like that is a unheralded ability for a front office and a coaching staff to be able to do, because all of the good teams do it. The Orlando Magic, they sent out a lot of smoke screens saying that maybe they're going to pick Jabari Smith in the draft. They ended up picking who was considered the consensus number one talent, and Paolo Banchero. And he is going to need to be able to settle down at times. A lot of pressure is always given to the number one overall pick. More so if you're a team that seems to always be perpetually rebuilding. He is now supposed to be the person to lift the Orlando Magic out of the annals of the basement of the Eastern Conference. It's interesting, though, because if you watch the Orlando Magic, they seem to have a very clear end destination, but I don't know if it's going to work. And what is that end destination? Apparently, they too want to be like the New Orleans Pelicans or the Toronto Raptors. And they want to be able to get an entire lineup of 6'10" and taller. If you look at what the Orlando Magic have built, they have Wendell Carter Jr. at the starting center. He's 6'9", 6'10". Paolo Banchero, 6'9", 6'10". Franz Wagner, 6'9", 6'10". And then off the bench, they have Mo Bamba, 7 foot. Jonathan Isaac, 6'10". Chuma Okeke, 6'9", 6'10". Mortis Wagner, Franz's brother, 6'10", 6'11". And then you look at the guards: Jalen Suggs, Gary Harris, Terrence Ross, R.J. Hampton, Markelle Fultz. They're all 6'4" and taller. The shortest one is Cole Anthony. So they are buying into this length, height, and athleticism. Shout out to Bobo. Let's give him a shout out. I watched him again. I'm sorry. I can't help but laugh sometimes when I watch Bobo. But even he's getting minutes in at 6'11" and 7 foot. So there you go. Like it's the new trend, the new wave in the NBA. You can't teach height, you can't teach baseline athleticism. And they're going to have an interesting mixture of these young players. I happen to think, though, that they've already figured out that the only two that are guaranteed long-term answers are Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. I think they understand any and everybody else can be moved if they're going to get the right piece in return. Any questions about the Magic, feel free to come on up and ask. If not, go ahead and go in the chat box. We've got a couple other people popping in. I want to say what's up to Dr. Smith, Santa Rosa, Zach, and Alan. It's good to see you four. Hopefully, you are as excited about the return of the NBA as I am starting tomorrow. All right, one more team to go through here in the NBA Southeast Division for their preview, and that is the Washington Wizards. Yeah, it's going to be a long year in Washington. They went ahead and gave Bradley Beal the Supermax extension. He's going to be averaging plus $40 million for the remainder of his career. They did make a huge trade with the Denver Nuggets, receiving Monte Morris and Will Barton in exchange for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and some other trade compensation. And Barton and Morris are going to step right into the starting lineup. If you watched Monte Morris in Denver, you're like, hey, that might not be a bad idea. Let's see what he can do as a full-time starter. And if you watched Monte Morris in the preseason, like I have, you are now saying, no wonder why he was there in Denver to be the primary backup of Jamal Murray, because, man, talk about inconsistent shooting. Part of that problem also is that he was without Kristaps Porzingis, who was in and out of the lineup due to injury, so that was some issues. But they have an interesting starting five. They have Monte Morris at point, Bradley Beal at shooting guard, Will Barton at the third guard spot, Kyle Kuzma starting power forward, and Kristaps Porzingis looks to be the starting center, which is hilarious because all throughout his career so far, Kristaps Porzingis, like Anthony Davis, has stated multiple times he really doesn't want to play the five. That is not a bad lineup outside of Monty Morris's preseason production and play. And I think if, and this is the relative big if, Kristaps Porzingis can stay healthy, the Washington Wizards could actually be a spoiler. A couple years ago, you remember Russell Westbrook dragged a Wizards team that was not this talented to the playoffs. The question is, if Kristaps Porzingis and Bradley Beal stay healthy, can they do that and shock the Eastern Conference and get one of those 8, 9, 10 play-in seeds? I happen to think they have the ability to. I don't know if they're going to be able to execute, however, and I think that in the end might cost Wes Unseld Jr. His job at the end of the season. And I also think that we could be looking at a very protracted um, rebuilding process should they not make the play-in. Because if they did not make the play-in, then they're going to have to figure out how to justify paying Bradley Beal $40+ million and Kristaps Porzingis $35 when all things are said and done. Because that'll be about $75 million for two players that couldn't get you to the play-in. So it's going to be interesting. They do have, I think, the most enigmatic rookie prospect out of this year's draft, and that is Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin. He checks all of the boxes physically. He's athletic, he can handle, but we don't know necessarily is he a one or a two. And when somebody asked me why I said that, it's like he gives you Malcolm Brogdon type vibes. He's not as heady or ready because Brogdon came out as a senior, but he's got this no frills, professional lunch bucket, pail, whatever you want to say, game. And like I think if he can get the minutes, specifically in the second half of the season, we're likely to see him move into that sixth man role. They are trying to see if he can handle the point on the professional level. That is yet to be seen or determined. But he definitely has a shot to get at least 24 minutes per game. He's not going to register on the Rookie of the Year scale, but he might win a couple of Rookie of the Weeks or months. All right, I'm going to give you a quick break because I need a quick break. I'm going to hit this button to play some music. I'll be back in about 30. All right. What's up, everybody? I tell you, after doing a whole season last year, um, I've got a lot more, a lot more respect and admiration for the solo sports radio host. It's hard. Like, can you imagine having to sit there for 3 hours and do nothing but talk, but have to do it in a way that people can relate, people can understand, or being incited over to having a visceral, emotional reaction. So shout out to all those people who do this every day. Like it's not easy. I enjoy it. Um, the one thing I think I might enjoy more is if I had a wonderful sponsor. Oh, I do. I have a great sponsor, slamgoods.com. That's right. They're still sponsoring us here throughout the entirety of the NBA regular season. Slam Goods is your marketplace for all basketball apparel and accessories and memorabilia. And if you head over to slamgoods.com, you can use code name Hoop Spaces. That's our promo code they gave us and save 15% off your entire purchase. Site wide too, like not just on one thing. Like if you go there, they give you that pop up saying, "Hey, give us your email. We'll give you 20% off." But that's for one thing, and like they get to choose the thing. Use Hoop Spaces. Everything on the site, 15% off. All right, so head over there, slamgoods.com. I also got something from Starkist Tuna. I'm going to show that to y'all tomorrow. Yeah, that Starkist Tuna, the tuna company. It's hilarious. Sent me a shirt. All right. Next up, if you don't have any questions about the wonderful Southeastern Division, we'll move on. It's okay. It's all good. All right. There we go. We have with us a lot of people down below. I want to give a couple of shout outs. Nat, ladies and gentlemen, Tuesday at 8 p.m. We'll be hosting the opening, soft opening of Benchwarmers. And if you didn't hear what we did on Friday, man, you missed out. It's going to get hot because I'm going to tell you now, Damian Lillard can beat Steph Curry in one-on-one. And there's nothing you can tell me that about it. Like, it's just there. That's what we're talking about. If you don't believe me, come on up and you can go ahead and tell me why I'm wrong. And that's essentially how we'll roll with Benchwarmers. And if you lose, which you will, you'll get sent down to the bench. And we'll make fun of you in a lighthearted way. All right, NBA Central Division. Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons, the Indiana Pacers, and the Milwaukee Bucks, ladies and gentlemen. That is the next 5 that we're going to go through. And I tell you what, I don't know if there's going to be a more competitive top of any division. But the Chicago Bulls are still going to score points. The Cleveland Cavaliers got better adding Donovan Mitchell. And Milwaukee, if healthy, is still a force to be reckoned with Giannis and Chris Middleton. But now we have an upstart Detroit Pistons team as well to get ready to look at. And Indiana made some moves as well, keeping Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, the team with a young core centered around Tyrese Halliburton. But first, we're going to go to the Chicago Bulls. And this is going to be a very, very hard listen for a Bulls fan because you're probably going to win 45, 46 games, and nobody is going to believe in you. I'm just telling you this now. No one is looking at the Chicago Bulls and saying Ayu Dosunmu and Alex Caruso and Goran Dragic are going to be good enough to replace Lonzo Ball. And if you remember when Lonzo Ball went out last year, that's when the wheels fell off. Whatever he does extraordinary value for Chicago, and it's essentially being a pass first point guard. Like, that's it. He doesn't drive. He doesn't really attack. He throws open threes up. He'll take 8 a game and make 3, and he passes and plays D. That's it, and that's what they're missing. Coupled with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, who are purely offensive players, that was a really good 3-headed monster. Then you have Nikola Vucevic, for a good chunk of the last decade, was considered probably the most underrated big man in the game. He is still pumping out 18 and 9, and he is still a very good screen setter as well as a interior, not help defense, but move away from the basket defender. And now they added Andre Drummond. And if you watched any part of the NBA preseason, one thing that you do understand is they're not asking DeMar DeRozan to shoot the threes. They're asking Nikola Vucevic and Andre Drummond to shoot the threes to open up the lane for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. But a lot of their season, beyond the health of Lonzo Ball, is going to be pretty much predicated on the development of one Patrick Williams, who was their first-round pick a couple years ago and then missed significant time with injuries. He was supposed to be a smaller version of a hybrid 4, somebody who could go guard 4 through 1, be a defensive stopper, as well as be a floor spacer. And when he was healthy, like, you could see it. But the problem was he was only healthy for 17 games. He shot 53 from the floor, 51 from 3. That'll regress to the mean, averaged 9 points and 4 boards. But he, ladies and gentlemen, being drafted 4th overall out of Florida State, if he can't develop into a frontline starter for the Chicago Bulls are going to have issues all year. They just simply don't currently, as constructed, have the depth to overcome that. They have Kobe White coming off the bench. Maybe he gets the 6-man role and lights up the world again. Javonte Green is back, but is he going to be more than what Derrick Jones Jr. is and was? That's the question. Also, you might want to look out for Dalen Terry, their first-round pick from Arizona this year. not for the opening of the season, but definitely if they struggle, you could see more of Dalen Terry inserted. A very, very athletic wing. I'm looking forward to seeing him. If you got any questions about the Chicago Bulls, you can come on up or you can put it down in the chat box down below. A couple more people have popped in. I want to make sure I say what's up to. C. Hendo is in the building. Chris Henderson, man, like we got to get this guy literally checkmarked. He's talked to the best in baseball. He's talked to the best in basketball. He puts out content almost every day. Still can't get actually verified by Twitter, which is a shame. And if you look up on top in the jumbotron, you'll see the entire interview, ladies and gentlemen, with Brendan Haywood of North Carolina, talking basically about North Carolina back, his Mount Rushmore for UNC basketball, which is phenomenal because you've got so many players from UNC. And I tell you, like, if you take out Michael Jordan, like, it's still hard to get 5 or 4 players up there. All right, we're joined by Micah down in Dallas, or not in Dallas, but he's a Dallas fan down in Southeast Texas. Micah, good morning. How you doing?
Man, I'm fantastic, Chris. I'm definitely ready for basketball because football is freaking terrible. God, it's so garbage this year.
I've tried to tell everybody. I realized I got the light. Football's not where it's at. If you watch the Broncos, like, God bless you. I don't know why you'd want to do that to yourself, but what you got this morning, Mike?
Nothing much. Just ready for the season to start. I'm ready for Wednesday. Return to the scene of the crime. Hey, I got something to get off my chest real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In 2007, when the Warriors upset us, even though they got demolished in the second round, they laminated the spot where Dirk punched a hole in the wall, hung a We Believe t-shirt on top of it, and got him to sign it. So for all these Suns fans that are in their feelings that we're talking about a semi round win, like we hung a banner. First of all, we know what it's like to hang a banner. Y'all ain't hung a banner before. So to beat y'all down so bad that your franchise has to send out apology letters, hold that. But yeah,
all right,
that's it.
Appreciate it, Micah. Yeah, that construction. That construction noise in the background gets us, man. It's so loud. We can barely hear you sometimes. Hopefully you're doing all right. KP, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Christopher. Hey, Micah, I need that construction sound because that's the sound I want to make when I go and tear down the Barclays after the Nets lose in the second round. So I'm going to need that sound effect, Chris. So if you can clip that for me and send it to me, appreciate that. Shout out to a couple of good people in the room. Well, everyone in the room gets a shout out from the executive hater. I love everyone. But in particular, I hate specific people for specific things, like LeBron James for making that god-awful house party trailer. It's pretty awful. He's making a movie about a house party, a party inside his house, inviting his friends to his house. It's totally absent of what the premise of the movie is. Please stop giving this guy IP. Warner Brothers, please, if you're listening. You see what Michael B. Jordan just did? He took old IP, Rocky, Creed, he made it his own, and he made it good. This house party thing is going to be a trash movie from the beginning. It don't look funny. Robin Harris is rolling over in his grave. I don't care who's in this movie, Chris. I don't care if Kid and Play do a dance. I don't care if they do the switch thing with the DJ. I don't care what they do. It's going to be bad. Secondly, great episode of House of the Dragon last night. We reviewed it. People came through. I appreciate everyone coming through, giving their opinions. Shout out to if you're a green or if you're a black, If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's going to be next episode is going to be the final episode of the season, so I'm excited about that. And then tomorrow night is like Mike had mentioned. Tomorrow night is what they call ring night, and for some of you Knicks fans, it's when you take the ring from a championship and you give it to the players that put in the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and put it on your finger for winning and being a great organization. And shout out to the $1 Million Man, Joe Lacob, for saying, "Yo, we're not gonna spend $500 million." And he said, "You know what? Spend the $500 million. We want to win. We want to have a successful, progressive team that can go win now in the present and in the future." So, all you organizations, all you Memphis gritty guys, keep grittying. All you Miami Heat fans, keep letting Pat Riley run you to the ground, making you lose weight. All you Knicks fans, keep letting Thibodeau play your favorite players 38, 40 minutes a game, even the rookies and the veterans. And then Warriors will win the next championship. And then y'all I know a lot of y'all mute me. That's fine. I enjoy the mutes. I don't see you guys, so that's awesome. You don't see me. But yeah, man, it's a great day, Chris. I appreciate you. The weather in New York City is a crisp 65 degrees. Get yourself a hoodie. Chris is going to do that ad, I'm sure. Make sure you get two, because it's hoodie season, and then it's also hoodie stealing season. So, man, get two. But yeah, Chris, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right. And if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you shoot KP a follow 10:05 on Sunday evenings after the House of the Dragons on. You can come in, chop it up, and break down the episode as well as everything in movie and pop culture. Micah, real quick, because you got extra loud noise, man. Like we could barely hear you the last time. What you got?
Hey, man, this is just real quick. Shout out to the Warriors for getting an all-star two-way player for 27 a year. That is amazing. What a steal. So big ups to them. That's all I was going to throw out there real quick.
All right. Yeah, no, that Andrew Wiggins contract is a steal, although I believe it's also written where he'll be able to get a larger contract after the new TV deal. And then that essentially, on the books anyway, makes it easier for the Golden State Warriors not to have as high of a luxury tax fine, right? So it's kind of like circumventing the luxury tax. Like I was trying to.
Isn't that what smart people do, Chris? Like small organizations, don't they do that?
No, I was trying to say, like, I've called the Warriors the most progressive franchise for a while. Sean with W's in the building. You can follow him for the Knicks Film School and Live from the Mecca. He's been with me over 2 years, and he's heard me say this. I don't mean in terms of their politics. I mean in terms of their business acumen. Like, when Steph was alone after Clay went down and Dre went down, they literally sat in a room and planned out the next 10 years. And everything has basically gone right except for Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole. And I believe like Sean Livingston not re-signing 1 year. Like, how insane is that? Shout out to the Warriors. They're good.
Can I get one more shout out, Chris, before you go
ahead.
Shout out to my brother Malcolm down there. If you live in Toronto and you have the Uber app, you can now order your marijuana. So shout out to Uber. Shout out to you marijuana smokers. Be safe. And if you don't order your marijuana in an Uber Black, you ain't real. So I guess my commission.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's one way to look at it. And I didn't expect that to come on a Monday morning. Let me give KP another point. James, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, everybody. Man, listen here. I want to give an announcement to those NBA players. If you don't get your bag between now and 2024, you're in trouble. Because, man, they have some good players coming out. We'll be going to college next year. They'll be doing it one and done. And I'm telling you, the Bruises brothers, Kyle Bruiser's sons, man, they put a whooping on Bronny James the other night, yesterday. Listen here, those some bad brothers. I'm telling you, man. And in that tournament, they had some good players. I mean, real good players that probably could go to the NBA right now. So I'm putting a announcement out. NBA players, if you're playing right now, go get your bag this year. Because if you're not gonna get it this year, you're not gonna get it in the next 2 years. That's my take.
I like that take. I look, they they drafted James Wiseman, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga. They got a couple other players too at the Santa Cruz Warriors. The names aren't even popping in my mind. They are so deep. They actually had to cut two people that they didn't even want to cut. They are deep, y'all, and like the way that it is looking like Steph can play that shooter role for the next 4 or 5 years if he's healthy. Like he takes care of his body just like LeBron James does. The biggest question is what are they going to do with Klay Thompson? I've already been on record saying I think they should start Jordan Poole over him, and I'm already there because at this point, how much can Klay do on both ends of the floor? Would it be more advantageous to bring him off the bench after the first 6-7 minutes and then have him carry the offensive load into the second quarter? That's an interesting question that we can have with some Warriors fans as the season progresses. James, quick question though, right? If another team other than Golden State is going to be a team to win, what you looking at? What's your team to beat the Golden State Warriors this year?
Well, here's the kicker. It all comes down to the coaching. So who do you have that's a good coach? It's not the players. Sometimes it comes down to the last 2 minutes of the game. Can your coach out-coach Steve Kerr? So with that being said, man, it's going to be tough to beat them. But I feel like, um, let's see. Well, I'll go Brooklyn. Because, see, Kevin Durant is side coaching the team. And I feel like Brooklyn will be able to take them.
All right. I like Brooklyn as well. I think a lot of people might have counted them out a little bit too early. And I think Kyrie Irving he's got something to prove. And I don't think a lot of people are going to like. Yeah, they're going to be good. Like they don't need Ben Simmons to shoot like Philadelphia did. So Ben Simmons has appeared more comfortable now than he did at any given time in his career at Philadelphia. I like what they're able to do, and it's a shame. It really is because it's. I'm not a big Steve Nash fan, and I think that the Brooklyn Nets can win in spite of him. But I think they'll get there, and then I think Steve Nash will not be able to beat Steve Kerr.
Well, either that or they're gonna let Steve Nash go. I mean, I know they throw their weight behind him. All he's gonna stay. We got him 100%. But we'll know after the trade deadline if he's gonna stay or go, because by then you should know where the Brooklyn Nets gonna be as far as the rankings, whether they winning or losing a lot or whatever. But I think by then we'll know where they at. As far as with uh, Steve Kerr, his coaching style. He got what it is. His benches, his assistants really carried the day. Don't let's give Steve Kerr all the credit. His assistance is awesome, and that's where the money is with his assistants.
Yeah, no, and that's why Kenny Atkinson was supposed to be the head coach for the Charlotte Hornets, but then backed out because Charlotte wouldn't give him the money he wanted for his assistant coaches. Because if you want a quality team, you need quality assistant coaches, and they aren't cheap. They are not cheap. Real quick, if you look above, Malika Walker's on a travel day, but her show is not. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rewind Pod will be discussing a period of time right, of each NBA franchise. So in this instance, we're talking the Nets because it's her favorite team, and there are more than four periods, but there are four distinct benchmark times in Nets history. Not talking the current iteration with Kyrie and KD. She wants to know what era of Nets basketball do you want to talk about and learn more of? Because there are four really good eras here. The first is the Dr. J era, which is going to take you all the way back to the ABA. The second is the Buck Williams era. And if you're of a certain age, you remember Buck Williams as one way. But Buck Williams was a hooper. He could play, and he was pretty dominant. And he had an amazing career in New York for the New Jersey Nets then, as well as the New York Knicks. You have Derek Coleman, the DC era, and there's a lot of people who will tell you Derek Coleman was the original, point big, like the point forward. He was going to run up the floor. He could shoot a three. He could dunk, take you off the dribble. He was a talent that might have been so great he couldn't even reach to the heights of his greatness. And then the Jason Kidd era, which is essentially the birth of modern Nets basketball, in my opinion. So you're talking Jason Kidd, you're talking Richard Jefferson, Keith Van Horn, Kerry Kittles, and the like. So do us a favor, the tweet, retweet the poll, vote in the poll so we can know what we're trying to set up for content that you want to hear. All right. Down below, let me give a couple more shout outs. What's up, Jay Trent? What's up, John? I see Bonkai the Show Killer, TJ, Justin Patton, aka JP the Franchise. If you look above, the Hoop Spaces newsletter is here. The very first episode, it's very light. There's no recap to do. What you get is some of the stories from reporters whom I've spoken with, and kind of cuts out the noise and chatter from having to go on the websites and try to find it yourself, as well as our own stuff that we'll start building out as we have more people joining Hoop Spaces who might want to write, including the likes of John Jabolka. And it'll just really be a place where we can get ready for what the show is or what we want the show to be in the future, and to highlight some of the content within the community. So if you are already creating content and you want another place to be able to link it, hit me up, because that's what I've built this for. So like if you are Justin Patton and you want to hook up your YouTube up to the Hoop Spaces newsletter, reach out and we can work out how we'll do that. And that way you get another avenue of eyes on your content. And that's not just Justin. That's anybody and everybody. If you thought you ever had a dream or a passion to cover your favorite NBA team, well, you have that opportunity now. And all you have to do is literally subscribe to the Hoop Spaces newsletter, send me a DM or an email saying, hey, I really would be interested in possibly writing or adding my already pre-existing content. It's that simple. And I guarantee you we will do it together consistently, and at the end of the season, good things will come, because that's the way the world works. So let's do it. Let's work together and be better. All right. Appreciate the convo, James. You got anything else?
No, I just want to know what's your take on up and coming NBA players. I mean, that's in college right now that you see coming out that's gonna raise some hell.
The other than, of course, Victor and Scoot, right? Because those two literally going to be locked, I believe, for pick 1 and 2, unless this one player really goes off. Okay, if Gregory Jackson out of South Carolina goes off, he could challenge Scoot Henderson for that number 2 overall pick. He is a 6'9" freshman. He'll probably round out to about 6'9", 3/4, and about 228. He can play above the rim. He can shoot. He's explosive. He reclassified, right? So if you understand the reclassification process, he did it specifically to get in this draft class, because the one thing in this draft class that is short is power forwards. right? Great on the wings, great on guards, short on power forwards. He could be somebody if he develops super fast. Will shock some people. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you one that I think a lot of people are ignoring, and I think they're going to make a mistake on it, and it's because he didn't come out as a freshman, and that is Arthur Kaluma. He plays for Creighton, is one of these mid-major guys, right? But like, dude's an NBA wing already, 6'7", 225. Just physically dominating players. He's not going to come in and set the league on fire, but he's going to come in and possibly be that dude who ends up having a 10 to 12-year career. And a lot of people are already likening him to like OJ Anunoby, where he'll be a defensive stalwart and a two-way player, being able to hit the three on the wings in the corner. So there's two names. There you go, James.
Yeah, they those two right there gonna surprise a lot of people. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they're gonna set I think what it is that too many eyes on one person. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a lot of good talent out there right now that's coming out this year, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's one, and TJ's not going to like it because he plays for Duke, but Derek Lively is also someone I'm watching. Like, I don't think he's a top lotto pick, but he's on that verge of being in the lottery. The kid is 7 foot straight up. He's 200, maybe 205. He needs to add weight, but he's got a 7'8" wingspan, and he's not an injury prone big. Like if you understand at that height, like these players, they can get hurt. He has a frame that isn't like Chet Holmgren, and if he can bulk up to, let's say, 230 over the course of the next 2 seasons, like we could be looking at a Miles Turner-esque type player, where he could get 2 to 3 blocks per game, 6, 7, 8 rebounds, and 12 to 15 points. All right. Great question, James. We'll keep you up here. If anybody else wants to pop up with the questions, just a simple, easy show, an AMA, because let's face it, we don't have anything to talk about until tomorrow. And everybody's going to be killing the pregame, and we'll do our own tomorrow. Now's the time to go ahead and ask questions and talk about anything in the offseason to catch you back up, or anything that, like James just said, you're looking at teasing yourself into the future. I want to give a shout out to TJ, who's down in the chat box below saying good morning. Also, Justin is up there. Santa Rosa is up there. I'm going to share what she said because Devin Booker has been put on notice, ladies and gentlemen. OG Anunoby and Scotty Barnes are here, and they're ready. Toronto's ready, matter of fact, and I think a lot of people are going to find out how ready they are. All right, continuing with the Central Division. In the Eastern Conference, we did the Chicago Bulls. Up next, we're going to talk some Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers did a wonderful job in the offseason by shocking the world and stealing Donovan Mitchell from the clutches of the evil empire of the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. Gone is the king of the North, Lauri Markkanen. Gone is the 4-on-5 phenom, Colin Sexton. And in is Donovan Spider Mitchell to combine with Darius Garland to give them a top 5 Eastern Conference backcourt. They moved Karis LeVert into the starting lineup, which was kind of questionable. I thought maybe Isaac Okoro would get there so that Karis could be better off the bench. They have Evan Mobley at the 4 and Jarrett Allen at the 5. This was a Cavs team that shocked many people last year. With a opening surge, and they carried consistent play, getting help from the likes of Kevin Love, G.D. Osman. It's hilarious. Kevin Love returns to be the 6th man off the bench, but in my opinion, after watching the Cleveland Cavaliers, the one thing that I worry about is that they're going to play too outside and not enough inside. I would like to see Evan Mobley get more involved in the offense and have them play inside and out, because I think that'll be the key to allowing Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland to coexist, because to me they're pretty redundant. Up on stage, we have Sean with the W, founder of Live from the Mecca with Cedric Shine and Jeff J. Says. You can also catch him now, ladies and gentlemen, at the New York Film School, covering the Knicks Film School, covering the New York Knicks. Sorry, Sean, I was talking to my son. He's home on fall break. Go ahead, Sean. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Since this is an AMA, I will ask you a question that's related to something you just mentioned. Um, do you believe the Knicks made the right decision to not trade for Donovan Mitchell and to not acquiesce to the demands of one Daniel Ainge?
Yes, 100% yes. I believe the one thing that has always mired New York was their inability to keep their talent, and they finally did it. They finally kept talent for the first time since what, Sean? 15 years?
More than that, probably.
Yeah, so they re-signed Mitchell Robinson and R.J. Barrett, both to team-friendly contracts, and that right there is a signal saying, hey, we're not chasing a dream. And we want to make sure that we have at least some semblance of a core here before we might get that one piece. And had they traded for Donovan Mitchell, they would have fallen back in, hey, we got that piece, without really admitting that they gutted their homegrown talent to get it. And I don't think Donovan Mitchell would have warranted them having to trade R.J. Barrett and Quentin Grimes and 2 or 3 first-round picks. So, no, I think the Knicks did the right thing. And I also think signing Jalen Brunson meant that they didn't need to get Donovan Mitchell. Like, why pay Donovan an extra $7 to $10 million a year when you're going to get 80% of the stats from Jalen Brunson and better defense?
Please say that louder for the people in the back. This is the Knicks made the right decision, and more I think about it, I don't think Danny Ainge was ever negotiating good faith with the Knicks. I think he was always using the Knicks to drive up the price or to get the deal he wanted. I think there are people in the community that said we should just got the deal done. All they traded was 3 picks and 2 swaps. Well, the thing is, that's literally all Cleveland could trade. Like, by the rules, like the most they could trade was all we have are these 3 picks and these 2 swaps. Whereas the Knicks, they had 11 first-round picks in the next 7 years. So I think that and the funny thing is, if the reports that I've read are true, once Cleveland made the offer, they didn't even bother calling the Knicks back. It's like, hey, this is the offer that Cleveland has on the table. Can you beat it? But the funny thing is, I think if they did, and the Knicks decide to match the offer, like the 3 unprotected picks and the 2 swaps, I think Dana would have been like, all right, give me a 4th. And we said a 4th, give me a 5th. Because I know you have it, because Danny Ainge is a pig. So it was the right decision. Of course, because it's the Knicks, it's LOL Knicks, and we have to laugh at them for everything that they do. But, smart basketball people, yourself included, have all said, like, yeah, this was the right decision for the Knicks not to make that trade, because we would have been stuck in real purgatory with nowhere to go. Now, we got to see what these kids are about this year, but I'm glad that, I've just realized I've not gotten my Donovan Mitchell discussion on this platform. But yeah, we could not have afforded to make that trade. That would have
absolutely.
And if we made the trade, we'd be like, ha, stupid Knicks going all in to so
Yeah, no, 100%. You wouldn't have had the talent around Donovan Mitchell to compete. Like, it's just the truth. There's zero competition once you trade away, R.J. Barrett and maybe Julius Randle to a third team. Like, you're emptying out the cupboard. The biggest fear that I have is that Emmanuel Quickley is who he is, and Derrick Rose isn't going to stay healthy, right? And if Emmanuel Quickley is who he is, and Derrick Rose isn't going to stay healthy, you're all not very deep. Ryan Arcidiacono is still around, though.
Ryan Arcidiacono.
Diacono.
Yeah, he's a 15th man. He's not playing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that we're I think we actually have a lot of depth. I think we do have a really good bench. I'm with you that I don't think Emmanuel quickly is a starting point guard in this league, which, if you say that in front of the wrong people, they get, they lose their mind. Like, how could you say that? Like, come on. But I think you're right. Derrick Rose is not going to play 55 games. He's not going to play 82 games. We get 65 out of him. Great. Um, so if it's him, then we have to depend on him. We have to depend on Deuce McBride. We have to depend on Jalen play a little bit more playmaking from RJ. That doesn't scare me as much. But the Knicks will be frisky this year. I think I have the winning 45 games because last year was the worst year. Everything that could have went wrong last year went wrong, and they won 37. Meanwhile, the New Orleans Pelicans, who everyone fell in love with, won 36. But I digress. So I feel as if that they will be like they won 37 games despite starting Kemba Walker for 41 games, having Alec Burks as point guard, Mitchell Robinson in and out of lineup, Julius Randle pissing down his leg, walking the ball up the court, just like everything that's going wrong. So I feel confident that they made strides in some areas and they'll be better. Like this season is a free hit for the Knicks. All they have to do is not suck. That's it.
So all they have to do is not suck. It's hard not to suck though sometimes, man.
True story.
Pod Thorne has joined us, ladies and gentlemen, to give us another season of instigation and agitation to the likes of those who do not understand the greatness that is Nets world. Pod Thorne, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. I really was going to skip this year, cautionary tale or cautionary wisdom from my Knick fan friends, but something about the way Sean was pretending like everything was all right. Because Sean is smart. He's one of the smartest basketball minds on Twitter. That's why I follow him. Like literally super, super smart. Except when it comes to the Knicks. And it's all about feelings. Purgatory is the worst place the Knicks could want to be. And until they get a superstar to take their money, and Donovan Mitchell was about to take their money, I was about to say, wow, they're changing over there. But at the end, you didn't get him. You have all these draft picks with a GM that doesn't know how to draft. And all that you've done is gone from 37 to 40 wins, which just makes you a playing team with no possible way of getting top-end talent. If you don't have top-end talent, it's a waste of time. If you don't have a general management and scouting team that can find you top-10 talent, it's a waste of time. If you don't have a development team that's developing these players in some kind of way that you can see some kind of growth, which is what you can see with the Pelicans and you can't see with the Knicks, it's a waste of time. We're going to have these sad ass spaces talking about blaming and pointing fingers at everybody. And the reality is the GM is not good at his job. He's okay. He's mid, but the New York mids is just not going to cut it. It's at some point, y'all got to want to win. At some point, y'all got to want better. To walk in here and be like 40 wins is going to be like a groundbreaking year. You have been in the desert for 10 years. Moses is not going to lead y'all out. Y'all need help. Y'all need to fire the GM ASAP and come to reality. It's terrible. I would love to see competitive basketball in New York City. I can't go 8-0. Come on, Chris.
8-0. Already in mid-season form, ladies and gentlemen. Pod Thorne laying waste to the New York Knicks, and Sean with the retort. Bonkai just throwing the thumbs down. Like, just go ahead, Bonkai. Keep spamming. Sean, go ahead and retort.
Good morning, Pod. Why I was not surprised to see you come up here to talk about teams other than your own. As a former Knicks fan, I know that there's still a small piece of blue and orange in your heart. To say that we can't draft lets me know that you haven't been paying attention. Like, Where's the bad draft pick in the Leon Rose administration? Where's the bad one? Number one. Number two, so you mean to tell me that I can't just sit in purgatory and then maybe sneak into the playoffs like 42 wins, and that one season of being good can't net me like a superstar or two in the following season? That can't happen?
No.
Where have I heard that before? Where have
Listen,
I seen that blueprint
you
done
have
before?
to get
Oh,
someone
wait
to
a
take
minute.
your
It
money.
happened in Brooklyn, who was in the epitome of purgatory. But now it can't happen for us. You know, it's fun. It's crazy. It's like, oh, the only way to get a superstar is to be god awful, and then you're guaranteed a number one pick. You know, it's not like, you know, maybe just being competitive and, you know, winning like 40 something games and just looking competitive enough so a star to say like, oh, you know what, maybe I want to go there. Like, oh, I don't know who did that same shit. Oh, the Miami Heat. Now, yeah, I know what you're gonna say. The Knicks are not the Miami Heat. You're right. The Knicks are not the Miami Heat, but you have to start somewhere. And this front office made a decision, and everything that they have done, every move they have made has aligned in one direction: be competitive, acquire assets, wait for a star. Now, I believe they did not think that Donovan Mitchell would be available this summer. I thought they'd think he'd be available next summer. We did get him. That's a choice that we made because we decided not to empty the cupboard to completely lock ourselves into purgatory.
Sean, they sat
We still let me
courtside
finish.
at his
Let
playoff
me
game.
let me finish. Yes, man. Yes, I understand that. But at the same time, when you're dealing with someone who's not negotiating in good faith, it's hard to get what you want. It's hard to make the deal. Simple as that. Yes, this season, all the Knicks have to do is not suck. That's what they have to do this season. Next season is going to be, we need to see something. We got to get something. We got to get it done. We got to get something. And I think there's some people that they have their eye on, some stars that they have their eye on. But all you have to do is just not stink. Because I tell people all the time, if last season was 2 seasons ago, 2 seasons ago was last season, it will look better. But they took the surprising step forward, and then they took the surprising step backward. That's all. So we'll see where it happens in year 3.
All right, we are on to the second hour of Hoop Spaces, ladies and gentlemen. Your last day without regular season NBA basketball. Tip off tomorrow. Doubleheader. Sixers, Celtics, Warriors, Lakers. That is tomorrow. NBA on TNT. You just heard the back and forth between Sean with the W and Pod Thorn. I want to thank everybody for popping in here and spending any part of your day with us. If you want to come on up, go ahead. Request that mic. Come on up. We'll get your question in. We'll talk some ball. If you'd be so kind to like and retweet the show card, we are now back in action. Started last week, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Brought to you by Slam Goods and SlamGoods.com, the online marketplace for Slam Online, which was the magazine. It's funny because I'm old now. That's what my son told me when I turned 40. I miss reading magazines, and I enjoyed reading Slam. And what's really cool is if you were like me and you like to read these magazines, which you probably are because you're probably of an age, they have them back called the Rewind series, usually about $10 per copy. Pick up a copy yourself, man. Use promo code HoopSpaces and save 15%. That's like free money, right? They're $10. You save $1.50. You take that $1.50 and you go buy yourself an ice cream cone and you'll feel better. Seriously, do it. SlamGoods.com. Appreciate it. Bonkai is getting ready to come on up. He's probably still mad about the whole Knicks and Donovan Mitchell and whatever. It'll be okay. Knicks are good. Pod Thorn just doesn't want to admit it. Like, record doesn't necessarily indicate good or bad. It means that you just didn't win. And unfortunately, when you only have 15 teams in a conference, there's got to be some that don't win as many games. That doesn't mean they didn't do well in the offseason. It doesn't mean they didn't get better. It just means that there are better teams or other teams got better. Keep that in mind. But I love the back and forth. We need to get some more voices in. Joined on stage now by Bonkai and Casey and Joe the Historian. We'll go to them real quick. And we'll start first with Casey. Casey, congratulations for the Houston Astros. You had an amazing time getting to watch a walk-off home run in the playoffs, which is dope. So I hope that you're having a good day. Kevin Porter Jr. news.
Yes.
Re-signing 4 years, a shade over $80 million. We call it the Terry Rozier contract. I think it's a great contract. Also breaking Chris Middleton not going to be playing for the first couple of weeks for the Bucks. And I tell you what, I asked this, Sean, I believe you were here. I asked this, is Milwaukee's window closed? And people were like, no, they have Giannis. Now I'm asking again, with Chris Middleton's injury, is Milwaukee's window closed? We'll get to that point. Sean, go ahead. I know you want to say no.
No.
All right. Hey, I kind of disagree, but we'll get to there. Casey, good morning. How are you on the day before, the day in the wake up for NBA basketball?
Man, dude, Chris, good morning. It's a beautiful Monday. It's a little bit rainy outside here in Houston today, but two great things have happened in Houston sports today with this KPJ extension for one, but also Jag Easterbay from the Texans is gone too. So we're super happy about that as well. This KPJ extension is very it's very interesting. So they're giving him 15.6 pretty much guaranteed off rip in the first year. And there's a trigger that's involved. So he has a possibility to make more. Essentially, the Rockets can cut him after the first year at any time, essentially. So it's super team friendly. Rafael Stone, man, he's just unbelievable the way that he can work these deals, and he always leaves himself an out. But they want Kevin Porter Jr. to be a cornerstone here, and him and Jalen Green together is going to be scary, man. I know a lot of people. I see a bunch of, Jalen Green slander and KPJ slander, and I get it. But if you don't actually watch the Rockets every night, you don't really know what these guys are really capable of. Man, Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green are going to be a terrific backcourt. I mean, they're going to be scary. They're going to be hard to play. And we got him on a super team friendly deal, man. I mean, I couldn't be more happy. I'm happy for Kevin because he gets good money. He gets 15, almost $16 million a year, which is great for him. He's only pretty much made $2 million a year every year since he's been in the NBA. So he gets a big pay jump there. We get a player with huge upside that, he's had some behavioral issues, I guess you could say. He checked himself into a game. He left at halftime, which is the reason why they're not fully guaranteeing this to him. It's more of hey, Kevin, we need you to mature, and we need you to do this for us, and we need you to be this guy, and not the guy that's checking himself into games, that's leaving at halftime when he's not happy with things are going. I honestly really think having Christian Wood off this team is just huge, man. I mean, it just completely changes it. If you look at the roster for the Rockets, game one of last season to game one of this season, it's just a completely different team. And adding Jabari Smith in here, I mean, I don't know how many games they're going to win. I don't know if they can make the play-in, but this is definitely going to be a team. I think we can beat the Hawks the first game of the season. I also think we can beat the Grizzlies first game at home. So it's going to be really fun. I'm just so excited, dude. Having Kevin Porter Jr. If you don't really watch him play, man, he's just an amazing player to watch, man. He plays a certain type of basketball that's just, it's just, you love to see it. I mean, you just love the game that he plays. So I'm super happy, man. It's just a great day over here in Houston. The Astros are doing their thing. You mentioned me being able to watch that home run hit in Houston, game one of, the division series. I mean, that's going to go down as one of the most, memorable moments in, postseason history here in Houston. So, man, just a great day, great Monday, great week to get started, Chris. NBA's coming back, and I couldn't be more happy, man. So appreciate you letting me speak. You always do a great job, man. Thank you for letting me have my voice and being able to use it. And I respect everyone in here letting me talk about the Rockets, man. I know a lot of people, they want to, they don't really like the Rockets. I guess I don't know. But and when it comes to Chris Middleton too, this has something to play with in Houston as well, because we have their pick. So, I'm not cheering that Chris Middleton's injured at all. but that really benefits the Rockets with him being out. So a lot of exciting things here in Houston going on, man. Rafael Stone is the GOAT, man. He's just a match negotiator. Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green. When they come to your city, you need to go watch them. So thank you so much, and y'all have a great week, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good season in Houston. They're not gonna make the play-in, but it's gonna be some entertaining basketball.
I wouldn't say they can't make the play-in, and I think it's definitely possible. But what we're gonna have to see. They gotta go out there and play.
It's good. Look, I think you guys have probably who's going to turn into the preeminent scorer at the 2 position in Jalen Green. I haven't seen him not be able to hit any shot or drive, and then there's not too many people who can do what he does. So I think the future's bright in Houston. The biggest question is Silas the right guy? Is the question.
I think with when you take Christian Wood out this team and you don't have someone that's begging for the ball and they don't want to play a team game, they're just worried about themselves getting their shots up. Like if you watch Jalen Green early in the season, like the game, he's just letting the game come to him. He's not like he knows when to get a shot, like he knows where he can get his points. Like we don't need him to score 50 points. Like we need him and KPJ and and Jabari Smith. Like we need these guys to play team basketball. We need them to play on defense. And we need them to get stops and run in transition. Like this team's going to be a team that they're going to get stops on the other end, and they're going to really push the ball. That's what the basketball we're trying to create here. And when you have young guys that like these guys do not ever get tired. Like it's crazy. Like they're so young, they're so explosive. It's just going to be really fun to watch him, man. So, and this kid Jalen Green, I'm telling you, like this kid is going to be a superstar in the NBA. He is going to be a superstar. I'm telling you.
He already is with that hair too.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, you heard it what he said. He said if they play good together, he begging them to play team basketball. I don't see the Rockets beating the Grizzlies, the Bucks, or the Jazz. So
the Jazz, bro, come on.
Don't have that young man hopes up, Chris. Come on,
Jazz? Not the Jazz, bro.
Jazz. Come on, Chris.
Not the Jazz, bro.
Hey, watch us beat Memphis. Watch us beat Memphis on Friday. Be ready.
Well, all right. So the problem, and I want to thank Casey for giving us a quick break from New York. We're going to go back to New York in a second. The problem with Houston is they're allergic to defense. And as good as Jabari Smith could be as a help defender, that ain't defense. That's help defending.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Chris. Jordan Poole or Kevin Porter Jr., which one plays better defense?
They actually play defense kind of the same.
You don't think Kevin Porter Jr. You don't think Kevin Porter Jr. is a better defender?
I think he's stronger. I wouldn't say he's the better defender. I'd say that physically he's stronger, so that gives him an advantage. If you're talking about actual defensive skill, they're pretty even. I think Kevin Porter will get more steals. I think Jordan Poole recovers and switches better.
I also think that saying you're a better defender than Jordan Poole is nothing to write home about.
That too.
But look at the money Jordan Poole just got compared to what we just paid Kevin Porter Jr.
Oh, yeah, but there's a reason why Kevin Porter Jr. didn't get that contract.
Also true.
Yep. The cool thing about Houston, they still have Eric Gordon, and Eric Gordon is going to get a first-round pick. Like, make no mistake, he's on an expiring contract, 18 mil, 13 or 18 mil. I can't remember, depending on the incentives, how they restructured that. He's going to get a first-round pick from somebody because he's going to help a contender. So I think with Tari Eason being the eventual, power forward, because I think they're going to end up moving Jabari to a small ball 5, because I don't know if Alperen Sengun is going to fit the athletic mold. I'm a huge Sengun fan, but I think unless he's able to get quicker feet, it's going to become pretty apparent that Houston needs to run, and he might slow them down. So, hey, we'll see. I like Houston. I'll send you a link to the write-up we did previewing their season. Appreciate you, Casey. But up next, we got Bonkai, we have James, we have Sean, and we have Pod Thorne going back heavy in the Northeast, talking Brooklyn and New York. Bonkai, you back with us yet?
Hey, yeah, I'm here, Chris. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sean with an L, not W, because your Ravens took that L yesterday to my Giants.
That's what you want to lead up with?
I mean,
Like,
I
you're
have
going
to.
to come up here, you're going to say, go to somebody else first, and the first thing you say, not hi to the good people below, not
No, I
I'm
did. I
super
said good morning,
excited.
Chris.
No,
I
you
said
said good morning.
everybody. Yeah, I said
Yeah.
good morning, everybody.
You went straight to Sean. Sean with an L because of the Ravens and Giants, man. That's just mean.
I had to give Sean a little bit of grief there.
So the Giants actually beat the Ravens, huh?
Yeah, we did.
Wow. Who knew that was possible?
Apparently, it wasn't possible to anybody but Giants fans. So nobody picked us to win. So it's okay.
All right. Hey, have you subscribed to the newsletter yet?
I like the tweet. So right after this, or right after I'm done speaking, I'll just subscribe.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. All right. You heard Pod Thorne assail your New York Knicks. You heard Sean give his case as to why the Knicks had a good offseason. I agree with that. I think they did. What is your take on the team wearing orange and blue?
I think the team did well. It was a good off season. We didn't lose, a bunch of pieces. With the whole Donovan Mitchell thing, I was always like, it's a win-win either way. If we get him, cool, we get him, we get a superstar. Well, whatever. People don't consider him a superstar. Some people do. I don't much care. He's just a really, really good player, right? But I always said it's a win-win. And if we don't get him, we still win because at the end of the day, we still get to keep all our pieces moving forward. We still get to see what all these young guys get to do. You know what I mean? RJ doesn't have to stay here and, play with a team that's basically stripped to the bone. I guess that wouldn't have been such a good idea either, I suppose, because who's he going to play with at the end of the day? But now he still has Obi here. He still has Quentin Grimes here. Quickly, even though Quickly is getting some flack lately, but hey man, like this kid showed you that he always tends to bounce back after like slow starts to the season or preseason. I think he'll be fine. Cam Reddish, I'm not counting him, but you still got the pieces, and moving forward, you still have draft picks. You still have plenty of money going forward. I mean, it's a slow process, like you know what I mean, and that's what's going to take the Knicks. That's what it's going to take to get the Knicks better. It's not going to be an overnight thing, but I do believe the Knicks are taking the right approach. And as much as Leon Rose has cut some flack and all that, I think he's building the team the right way. Which hasn't been done in quite some time. I mean, and you signed Jalen Brunson, who's a really good point guard. That RJ Barrett contract is looking like a steal, to be honest. I mean, you didn't overpay for him. He got just the right amount of money, and I believe he's going to keep improving. And obviously, I don't agree with Pod Thorne. I mean, I thought that was a lot of word vomit. He should really focus on his Nets, bro, because they've had James Harden, they still have KD, they still have Kyrie, and they still haven't delivered a championship after all the talking that he always does, all the talking that Nets fans usually do, and they still haven't delivered a single thing. Nothing. Nothing at all. So
But don't worry, Ben Simmons will
about
save them.
But I think we're 10. I think we're 10 and 0
listen.
versus
To
the
be
Knicks.
honest, how about you
10
deliver a
straight
championship
games.
first with that team, and then you get to talk? Because to be honest, you guys are not winning anything. You haven't won anything.
We win every time we go to MSG. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, that's your championship right there. That's the Super Bowl.
Bro, you did not bring in KD and Kyrie to go
Yes,
to
we did.
beat the Knicks.
Yes,
I
we
was
did.
told there would be multiple parades down Flatbush.
Listen, I'll put it like
parades.
this: they've had a big three, they've had a big two. Now they have, I guess, a big three, and they're still not the most popular team in New York, and they still can't overtake the city.
Y'all missing the point, man. Y'all missing the point. My son plays youth basketball. He plays AAU. He plays for his school team, and he does steady buckets. He's on the AYBL team there. I go to gyms. I'm just the lackey. I'm the chauffeur. I go to gym, and it's fascinating to watch the kids and what the Knicks have done to basketball in Manhattan. When you go to Brooklyn, anything in Brooklyn, AAU, elementary school, high school, and you look at the kids, they got net stuff on. It's amazing to see because in the beginning they didn't have anything on. Same thing. I took a video of it because it blew my mind. I couldn't
But
believe
how
it.
does it blow your mind? Like they put millions of dollars into.
No, but let me finish. I go to Manhattan, and I have a video that I posted where it's kids wearing every single other jersey except for that one kid whose dad made him wear Knicks stuff from top to bottom, and it'll be like one or two of those. Wow, and they'll be talking. I'll be listening to them and say, "Oh, you're a Knicks." My son will be like, "Oh, you're a Knicks
This
fan."
is
Like,
amazing
yeah,
deflection.
It is.
Amazing
It is.
deflection from
It's
the fact
wild.
that you won nothing.
But how can you finish when all you're doing is deflecting?
Can I land the plane? I'm just setting it up for y'all. Okay? The thing that y'all are talking about, most popular thing, like you gotta talk to children. You can't be talking to 56-year-olds and engaging your popularity on that. The babies don't like y'all.
I'm not talking about who's more popular. I'm talking about results.
Is more popular than basketball in
don't
Manhattan.
care.
Y'all are killing the vibe, Knicks fans. Y'all, y'all are fighting for your basketball mortality.
Multiple parades down Flatbush. It's been 3 years, and y'all got done.
But it's not over.
The greatest moment in Brooklyn Nets playoff history is Durant's big toe on the 3-point.
So the funniest thing about this is like the Pod Thorne here is really harping on just the horrible basketball that's coming out of Madison Square Garden, while simultaneously trying to avert your eyes from the horrible basketball that had been coming out of Barclays. Like, what are you doing?
Good enough to be 10-0 versus 10 straight wins.
Would you like a cookie?
Where are the parades, Pod?
The parades are coming.
The parades are coming.
Give the time. I'm not gonna predict it, but at least we're in the game. At least we got hope.
Don't worry, Ben Simmons will save us.
Can we maybe the most expensive franchise in the world? Can we maybe make the play-in game?
I love it. Let Bankai.
That's what y'all came here for. The play-in game.
Hey,
let Bankai
before you walk.
Let Bankai get in here, guys, because y'all two will go at it forever.
Listen, I don't want to be rude and interrupt him, but listen, he's going to bring up the popularity thing right there, right, with the kids and the kids. Listen, can you not cut me off, please? I didn't interrupt you.
But don't put words in my mouth.
But listen, he's saying the kids are rocking the jerseys. You can easily find that for Knicks fans. You can find that in the city anywhere. There's plenty of people who rock Knicks jerseys, kids who rock Knicks jerseys. I went to Comic-Con 2 weeks ago, and I went as Obi Toppin. I took my Obi Toppin jersey, I wore it, arm sleeve, whatever. You had people stopping me saying, Obi, or let's go Knicks. You had little kids saying like, oh, yo, I love the Obi Toppin jersey. Like, come on, you're going to really do this about like the Nets and the jerseys when the Knicks
they think Obi Toppin is a Jedi. That's why they said that.
It's a deflection. It's a deflection. It's when you can't talk about the product on the court.
Come on, is that your future?
This is
Kenny
bad.
Skywalker? Come on, man.
Listen. It's okay. Look, when the Nets win a championship, then okay, you can get to say whatever you want. Until then, you haven't won anything.
No, I'm gonna talk my
Ben
shit
Simmons.
every time
Ben
we
Simmons
punish
is gonna
y'all.
deliver a lot of
Y'all
bricks
gotta
to
be
you
the
guys.
best this year, or I'm not shutting up.
Okay.
All right. That's right. Already in mid-season form. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for trivia. This is random trivia, not basketball trivia yet, just random trivia. I need a player. Whoever's on stage, if you want to volunteer, raise your hand. All right. I've got 4 people for trivia. Who should it be? Should it be Alex from Hawks Fan TV, your best destination for Hawks coverage here on Twitter? Should it be Bankai, Micah, or Sean? I'm going to go ahead and push down on Micah, though, because I know he's got the background noise. It'll cover up the music. I'm gonna let Sean take this one, ladies and gentlemen. Sean, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Which email service is owned by Microsoft?
which email service is owned by Microsoft? I should know this, shouldn't I?
Yes.
I would say Hotmail.
Good job. What was the first state of the United States of America?
Delaware.
What is the capital city of Spain?
Madrid.
What colors are the Norwegian flag?
Oh, sugar. The Norwegian flag is red, white, and blue.
How many wins will the New York Knicks have?
45.
Nice try. Oh, that was a good.
You set him up.
What number would I have
That
said
was a
to be right?
40. 40. I had
42.
Yep, 40 and 42.
You know why I say 45? Listen, the Knicks went at a stretch where they went 3-17, and they literally blew double-digit leads 8 times. No, more than 8 times, like 10 or 12 times. 8 of those into wins, that's 45 wins. Just don't blow a double-digit lead 8 times, and that's 45 wins from 37.
All right. No, I feel you. I understand the logic. I only think Charlotte drops, and if Charlotte drops, that's 6 games.
There's another team that you were talking about earlier when I first got on, which I think is going to drop that we can finish ahead of.
Oh, hey, we'll definitely get there. Let's get Micah in here real quick. Everybody, brace yourself for some construction noise, and we'll move up to Alex from Hawks Fan TV. I want to give a shout out, ladies and gentlemen, to Jeff J Says. Make sure you shoot him a follow. Catch him on Live from the Mecca with Sean and Said, and also Power After Hours. If you watched any of the Power shows, you need to tap in. Like he is locked in pop culture. He is funny. He is hilarious. Also, if you do sports gaming or gambling, dude's a great follow. Check out the show BetX on the Madison Square Garden networks. I was about to say what's up to JJ, but he popped out. I'll wait for him to come back in. 30 and Dubs, Kent, the old clam in the Mudflats of Portland, and our friend, ladies and gentlemen, the Pickup Card Game. That's right. The Pickup Card Game is in the building. You could actually head over to Slam Goods right now and pick up your copy of the Pickup Card Game for only $25. Use promo code HoopSpaces, save $15, and that's free money. Again, Pickup Card Game, slamgoods.com, code name HoopSpaces. Alex, we're going to get to you in a second. We'll clear out Micah. Micah, what do you have?
Man, I was just going to be messy real quick. Are we having a mid-off? A franchise that hasn't won since Dr. J and a franchise that hasn't won since Phil Jackson was playing?
Wow, Micah coming in, getting 2 easy points on the backs of the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks, and then he went right on mute. You don't want none of that. We'll get you. Oh, he's a Mavs fan. Don't worry, Pop. We'll let y'all 2 come back in here. I want to get Alex in here as he's got a break real quick before he heads back to work. First off, congratulations, Alex. Phenomenal job at Hawks Fan TV. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not understand, we met a year ago, almost to the day a year ago, talking basketball at night here on Twitter Spaces. And he said, this is phenomenal. I said, Alex, this is not only phenomenal, this is the future. And in a year's time, he's taken it, he's added it to what he has at HawksFanTV.com. And this year, an active participant in Atlanta Hawks Media Day and coverage, in person, wearing the suit, chopping it up with the players. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, give Alex a round of applause. Good morning, Hawks Fan TV. What do you got for us today?
Good morning, Chris. I appreciate the intro. That was that was more than I deserved, but I appreciate the shout out there. It's a great morning. Like everyone else in this room, I'm sure we're all excited. Just a little under 24, or I guess 24 hours right now until we get the NBA season back. Unfortunately, the real basketball doesn't start until Wednesday when my Atlanta Hawks play and we cover the spread against the Houston Rockets at home. I will be in attendance watching that home opener, season opener. And that's free money, ladies and gentlemen. Just for entertainment purposes, Hawks minus 9.5. It's a lock of the day, easy money. I take some commission if you want to give me like a thank you fee if you do put in that bet. But yeah, man, I'm super excited for the season. A lot of people are doubting us, talking about, oh, how are DeJounte Murray, how are Trae Young going to fit, this and that. DeAndre Hunter looks like he could be good. He could be a bust, yada, yada, yada. A whole lot of chitter, chat. But the Hawks are here. We're going to make some noise. You heard it here first. We're going to be a top 4 seed in the East, 50-plus games, 50-win-plus season, and I'll see you guys in the Eastern Conference Finals. Thank you very much.
They never learned. They never learned.
I got a question for Alex, Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alex, would you like to take Cam Reddish back?
You know, Cam Reddish has a special place in my heart. I unfortunately, there's no more room, and he made it very clear, Bankai, that he did not want to be in Atlanta because he wanted to be the main star of the show. And unfortunately, it looks like his career just isn't panning out the way he'd hoped.
We found out the hard way.
But we appreciate the first round pick that we got. We much love. Appreciate that.
You know, there was somebody who told y'all, you know, that the Cam Reddish trade wasn't going to really work out in anybody's direction. I remember last year that Cam Reddish was supposed to be the next Paul George, bona fide two-way All-Star. Sean, do you remember that?
I absolutely remember that.
I remember that. Do you remember that, Alex?
I do. And you know, the crazy thing is that Knicks fans are starting to see it now because much like Hawks fans, they see the flashes. The kid has so much potential, and he's got all the tools to be an elite player, but it's the mental aspect. And it's crazy. I actually spoke to one of the executives 3 days before it happened on pure accident at one of the Hawks games, and he mentioned a hint saying, oh, you know, Cam Reddish is probably going to be gone by the deadline. And I asked him why. And he said, look, he's got all the tools, but he's just not a winner mentally. That's all he said, and he left. And it looks like it's coming true. So, yeah, it's a shame. I love Cam Reddish. I hope he does become successful, but I just don't think he's got it in between the ears.
Well, man, that's just a rough diagnosis. I don't think it's incorrect. I've seen him play in person. I've seen him practice in person. And I'm going to tell you, there are very few players that look as good as Cam Reddish in practice.
It's the injuries too. Every time it looks like he's about to start to come on or something, he gets injured. It's so odd.
All right,
bad luck.
Yep.
Let me get a couple of breaks in here with some news. The LA Clippers are launching a streaming service directly to their consumers, and I think this is a brilliant move. I'm surprised it hadn't been done earlier. It's going to cost you $200, which is essentially the original League Pass cost. Is about $17 to $20 a month. You're going to get 74 games. Now, the Clippers are a special case here because they share media with the Lakers in LA. So there's not an easy avenue for Clippers fans to see a lot of the games. This is going to open it up and allow Clippers fans to see games unblocked or not blacked out, as well as for the Clippers to prove a theory of mine, the fact that direct interactive content is indeed the future, which will shape and shake the new mediums that media is on, right? So, like, to everybody who's came in and ever listened to this show, thank you. The Clippers are proving us right. We appreciate you. Let me get King in here. King, do us a favor. Shoot us a follow. That's just general thing we do. If you ever go into space, try to just shoot a follow to the host. As cordiality. Shot one to you is back. Welcome to Hoop Spaces. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. What is your thoughts on anything NBA as we get ready for the opening of the season tomorrow?
Yes, sir, man. I'm actually appreciate the opportunity, man. I'm actually a suffering Knicks fan. Hopeful that we have a great season. I love to take on HFTV. Been following for a while, and also been following your space. I just didn't get to follow you, man, because I don't really be in the spaces like that. But a couple things as far as the breaking news with the TV streaming, I think all teams should do that. Obviously, there's games blacked out on networks at times, especially here on the East Coast, and it's just hard to get games that you want to watch outside of paying that $6 fee or whatever on the app. So I think that's dope. I think a lot of teams should follow after that. As far as expounding on what the brother said, I would take the Rockets plus money. I don't know how you feel about that team, but that team still has veteran leadership and Eric Gordon. They have a lot of young emerging guys, and to be frank, they are kind of deeper in the backcourt. I don't think it's going to be a smoke fest. I think that young boy Jalen Green is I don't want to go as far as great, but he's a really good player. I think he's going to help Kevin Porter and his troubles off the court, emerge into the point guard and starting guard that they want him to be, because that's also someone the Knicks were coveting. Again, I just don't think outside of Capella and John Collins rebound intangibles that's going to be enough. Capella is warm, man. I love Capella's game. I love the Hawks and how they play, but getting DeJounte Murray does not, help Capella or John Collins' dilemma. And I just want to know how you feel about that. Do you see John Collins playing throughout the season? Obviously, you guys lost Gallinari to the Celtics, and he ended up getting injured, which was likely with him getting old and him playing those playoff minutes. He was a good addition to you guys. And again, it's funny that they said you guys miss Cam Reddish, because he's somebody that most definitely should be in your roster, outside of Gallinari and the veteran leadership and the shooting intangibles that he did bring. But again, Cam Reddish was a teenager. He did have an authoritative coach in Nate McMillan, which is also a respected coach, a coach similar to Tibbs in the aspect that they don't really, play the young guys. They let their starters lose games and win games, which I actually agree with. So again, Cam Reddish didn't have that Luka opportunity, that RJ Barrett opportunity, that Ja Morant opportunity. So again, you can see the mental frustration and just not having opportunity. I don't think it's his game. I think it's just a mental thing. I've played basketball, on a large degree throughout my life, and I'm going to land this plane really quick. The kid just wants opportunity. He just wants to play, man. I mean, and anybody in his position that knows you're better than guys on the roster, as the host spoke, with the gentleman killing in practice, he wants it, man. And when you're not given to it and you got to be patient, it is frustrating. But again, just to land, I'm taking Houston plus as opposed to taking a -9 spread, man. And we're a great dialogue as always, guys, and appreciate the opportunity, man. Let's go Knicks too, man. Don't sleep on my Knicks. We're gonna make the playoffs this year, and I love that we're gonna see y'all.
All right, love it. I'll go ahead and let Alex answer first, and then I'll come behind Alex in regards to the Hawks questions and Clint Capella. Alex, go ahead and tell him. I've got my own view. I think it's a little bit different, but you cover the Hawks full time. We'll let you open it up, and I'll follow you.
Yeah, no, good insight, King, and appreciate the love. Yeah, I mean, Clint Capella, JC, they're going to do their thing. Clint Capella's been injured these past couple of years, finally had a healthy offseason with that Achilles and hammy injury that he's been dealing with all last year. So good to see him back. I think he's going to look back to himself that year when we made the ECF run, where he was a top 5 DPOI candidate, blocking everything, gathering all the boards. So I think we'll see that Capella back. And keep in mind, yeah, he is one of the older quote-unquote vets, but the dude is still only like 28. Maybe 29 max. So he's still a relatively young player under 30. JC is going to do JC things. I think the point production is going to dip a little bit just because of some of these other guys like DeJounte Murray taking up a lot of the opportunities and the leap of DeAndre Hunter. But remember this name, Jalen Johnson, Mr. King. Jalen Johnson is our new backup for ever since Danilo Gallinari got canned last offseason. He looked really good in preseason, and the dude looks just like a better, stronger, and just a smarter Ben Simmons, like honestly. And he's much better looking, and he has a way better personality than Ben Simmons. So Jalen Johnson's the truth. He can do it all, 6'9", 6'10"-ish, 240, power forward, quick enough to guard the perimeter on the wing, guard your threes. He can guard fours. He can guard small ball fives. He can do it all, man. The only downside with Jalen Johnson is maybe his three-point shooting isn't as good as JC. Well, it's not maybe. It definitely isn't. But he makes up for it from his defense. They're equally as good rebounders, but his dribbling, his handling, and his passing ability is something that JC does not possess. So I'm excited. So remember Johnson's name. Remember AJ Griffin's name, our rookie first-round pick this past year. Hands down the best, most lethal three-point shooter in this year's draft class. And he shot 60+% from three this preseason. So I'm expecting him to light it up. So, yeah, man, the Hawks things, and I'm excited for the season.
I think Onyeka Okongwu replaces Clint Capella as the starter by trade deadline.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Like, how does he crack that rotation? Even these young guys that he's referring to. I mean, even though you guys lost Gallinari, man, I'm anticipating Hunter has a breakout year, like you guys spoke on. Y'all did pick up Kaminsky as well. Y'all got Jarrett Culliver, who I think y'all got him from the Wolves, or he's been here. I think Culver's been here.
No,
Yeah.
they signed him out of
Yeah.
Memphis
It's
when
going to
Memphis
be
cut him.
it's going to be a practice battle, but again, I think y'all dilemma is John Collins, and I think Patrick Baldwin Jr. as well as that Jokic kid that Miami got is going to give your boy some run for his money, AJ Griffin, and again, that's going to be solely based on opportunity as well, man. But he is a good 3-point shooter, man, and you guys do have a lot of offensive intangibles in the East. Again, I think my Knicks are ready for you solely just based on backcourt proficiency. And again, in the East, teams are getting bigger at the guard, but I think teams are actually getting smaller in certain facets. Certain teams, I would say, that just
Like the
relegate
Knicks.
small.
The Knicks
Oh
got
well,
smaller.
no, we got Hartenstein, we have R.J. Barrett. We playing big this year, man. Randall's not having a rebound.
Well, look, no. If you look at the entirety of the roster,
yes, sir.
Your guards skew small versus the rest of the league trying to get bigger.
Yeah, but Jalen Brunson is really like 6'5" in his mind, the way he plays. I don't know if you check
it is mine, yeah.
Check your boy out, man. But
Y'all gonna win on
we
in
ready
your
for
mind
the Heat.
too.
Just saying, we ready for them because I think at the end of the day, our perimeter defense is what stopped us from getting over the hump with the Hawks, and I think we changed that this year. And again, like so many teams in the league, man, we can even go to the Clippers, who they got projected as number 2 in the West, which I think is really overrated. All they have is Zubac down there. I mean, you got DeAndre Ayton. They got Phoenix in the top 5. I mean,
let me get some more people in, King.
They don't need. All they have is DeAndre Ayton. Like, they have nobody to help this man. So I don't know if that bodes well for the Hawks. And again, Capella, yes, he is, fairly to our standards, but dude, he's played a lot of basketball, bro. And that ACL, man, I just don't think he comes back as the Capella that he was. And John Collins,
it's not even that. He's been trending down since 2019. Every year he's received less minutes. Every year he drops in production. He had a rebound in 2020 and 2021 simply for the fact because he had a 3-week period where he looked like completely healthy. Then he got injured again, and I think what ends up happening is he moves from 27 minutes per game down into the 24 and 25. He takes on the Steven Adams role. Onyeka Okongwu comes back. He ends up averaging 23, 24 for the season. But come the trade deadline, he's the primary starting center. Let me get Hoops Faces Ryan in here. He's probably on the road, has a few minutes to chop it up with us. Good morning, Ryan. How you doing?
How's it going, Chris? Good morning. Thanks for taking me. Hope you're having a good morning.
I am, of course. Like, why wouldn't I take you? You've got the logo. Like, it would be kind of weird if I didn't let you up here.
Well, yeah, I know, but you guys are, having a deep discussion about the Hawks and everything like that. I'm not going to talk about the Hawks. So,
no, you're here to talk about the Lakers, but you're also here to praise our sponsor, SlamGoods.com, which you can head over there and you can pick up the Slam to Your World hoodie, which is on sale using promo code HoopSpaces and save an additional 15% off, like Geico.
How much is it with shipping? About $40-$50?
No, actually, if you get a certain amount, shipping is free, right? Like, so if you picked up 2 hoodies, like KP always suggests, you'll get free shipping and save 15%, right? You end up saving like almost $20. Ryan, go ahead.
All right, Chris. So you got the AMA up there. So I got a couple questions for you. Now, I'm going to talk about the Lakers for a little bit. The Lakers, just real quick, do you expect them to have a good season?
I do.
All right. Now, do you expect them to compete for a championship?
I don't.
What is the biggest or one of the biggest factors? Would it be health?
Health would be one. It would be.
Another new coach.
Would Anthony Davis be a concern for you health-wise?
For sure.
Yes, he the last 2 seasons have not been the healthiest of his career.
The same thing for Capella, man. He got DeJounte Murray. They're gonna play another octane. This gonna be even more high octane offense, man. Same for you guys with like 8 point guards.
Let him go, King. We got it.
I got
Yeah,
a
he's got to
question.
finish.
All right, so I've heard this left and right, top to bottom. Anthony Davis health concerns. When you see top players in the NBA, the Anthony Davis disrespect is crazy, and I chalk it up to his health concerns. Now, he has had, the label on him, Day to Davis, street clothes, all that stuff, and he is an amazing player when he's on the court. Would you agree? When he's on the court, an amazing player?
Absolutely. Top 10.
Okay. Pod Thorne and the guys were talking about the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant has played less than Anthony Davis over the past 3 years.
But he's
Hold on,
more
hold on, hold on.
durable. But he's more
Flag on the
durable.
play. You counting the year
He's
that
more
Kevin
durable,
he
bro.
had his Achilles torn?
Hold on.
And
Let
Anthony
me.
Davis does not want to play the center, bro.
All right, guys, you got to let him talk.
Kevin Durant, last time I checked, is a little bit older than Anthony Davis, not at an age where people tend to heal as quickly. Kevin Durant is coming off of an injury where people tend to not recover or tend to continue to stay injured. So I'm curious why the Anthony Davis disrespect comes, whereas people still view Kevin Durant as better and one of the top players in the NBA, where they're putting Anthony Davis down in the 20s. Can you answer that?
Chris, can I answer that?
Well, the first part is the games played is skewed because of playoffs. So Anthony Davis has played more games because of the playoffs. Regular season wise, he had 40 last year, 36 the year before, and 62 before that when they won the championship. KD has 55 last year, 35 before that, and 78 in Golden State for the last 3 years. So quick math, that's 168.
You're skipping a year with Kevin Durant.
Because he was out with the torn Achilles.
Exactly. Right. So you can't go back fourth year with Kevin Durant. Yeah, he didn't play.
But he played 55 the year after.
Well, no, he's talking about the 19 and 20 season, because that if you add in the 19-20 season, he played 0 games.
I understand the technology he's kicking, but I don't know.
He started it off by asking if they're going to make the playoffs. We're not even talking about a championship contending team. So why are we?
No.
If he doesn't play over 60 games this year,
he asked if he's healthy, do they make the playoffs? I said yes. He asked, do they win the championship? And I said no. But that's the same with Brooklyn.
But they have a lot more upside as far as durability and health, man.
No, they don't.
I think so.
No, they don't. No.
I think so.
No.
I think their team is healthier this year for sure. The Nets, for sure.
All right. Well, I would say
and
Kyrie.
And then who has more help?
I'm trying to tell you, but you keep coming back.
I'm sorry. Bro.
Yeah. Kyrie Irving didn't play a full year, right? Last year. Ben Simmons didn't play, and Kevin Durant played 60% of the games. 64. LeBron played 74% of the games. AD played 48% of the games. Russell Westbrook played 98% of the games. Right? So
you doing big two or big three?
Health-wise,
I think the big two.
The health's hurting them.
Play more games than the big two.
They need
in the Laker land, not the big three.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, for the players that were on the rosters last year, your argument is wrong. Because we can only go by what the players were on the rosters last year.
For sure.
And he knows his argument is wrong too.
Well, no, I'm saying your argument. His argument is correct.
What's wrong with my argument?
Again, if you're just going by the players on the team last year,
exactly,
his argument is correct.
Thank you.
Anthony Davis is younger than Kevin Durant.
No. You're talking about hoop spaces. I didn't know you were talking about
I'm talking about Ryan. Yeah. Anthony Davis is 5-6 years younger. Anthony Davis is getting more flack than what Kevin Durant got when he was injured and came back. And Anthony Davis didn't miss a whole year in the process. Right?
No, very true.
So all he's asking is, why is Anthony Davis ranked so low when healthy, he's obviously like Kevin Durant, a top 10 talent.
I think he'll never get back to the defensive player that he was, and not only that, he doesn't want to play
Well,
center. I watched him when he got that
was
28.
better last year defensively than he was the year before.
He does not like to play interior basketball, man. I watch him every time.
I understand.
He looks at both of his feet every time.
King,
like jumping.
King. I understand. He played defense better last year than he did the year before. He averaged 2.3 blocks and over a steal per game. Right? Like, that's all Ryan is asking. You guys are going past his question. Let's get back to the question. Ryan, you started a kerfluffle. Let's reset the question about Anthony Davis, not about the Lakers. So I don't think anyone, including yourself, as currently constructed, believe the Lakers are a championship contending team. I do believe, however, like I do, you believe they are a playoff team. Those are two different things. Your original question for Anthony Davis, go ahead and restate it so we can get that convo going.
All right, correct. I don't think they're a championship team as constructed. My original question was, with all that intro, why does Anthony Davis get all the flack for being injury prone and get all this pushback for being, down in the 20s in the rankings, which I believe he is a top 10 player when healthy. And Kevin Durant does not seem to take that same flack and such a hit in his player ranking for being just as injury prone at this point in his career and at this age.
There you go. That's the question. Not about the Lakers or the Nets.
For sure. Now, he just added, because he added Kevin Durant in it. We were solely talking about Anthony Davis, and then he threw the Kevin Durant.
As a comparison tool.
Yeah, but that's easy money sniper, man. Put some respect on that guy's name. We know what he does.
There's no disrespect, King. He's asking, why is Anthony Davis not being afforded the same respect? That's the question.
Chris, can I answer that?
Go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, for sure. Bro.
The reason why is because even when he was there, y'all still weren't even a playing team. You missed the entire playoffs at a time when LeBron is how old? 37, 38?
We just want to chip. We just want to chip.
That a long time. That's still in the past. That bubble
2020, bro. I don't know about just one chip, bro.
Wait a second. Wait a second. You are actually going to sit there and then say that this championship that they've won in the last 3 years isn't substantial?
No, it's not.
That bubble chip is the most.
So then that makes the Brooklyn Nets what?
They don't even have the same team or coach constructed, bro.
And that makes the Brooklyn Nets what?
Listen,
I don't know why we keep putting the Nets in there, but
because it's a comparison tool between KD and AD.
Because the results is the only thing that could change it. But I'll remember, Chris, that you was up here saying the Lakers is going to have a better year than the Nets.
I never said that. See, now you're trying to put words in my mouth.
No, but that's exactly what I'm doing. But that's where I'm.
But the cool thing is, this is a recorded show, so I can just play the show and say Pot Thorne is lying.
Yeah.
Like, why do that to yourself? You know what I'm saying? Why do it to yourself? To answer Ryan's question, why is Anthony Davis getting this flack, whereas like Kevin Durant didn't? And I can give you a cheeky answer that involves Steph Curry gravity. But the God's honest truth is when Anthony Davis forced himself out of New Orleans, he became a villain. And he's never really escaped that outside of Los Angeles, right? There's at least 40% of the league who believe the way he handled himself to get out of New Orleans was out of line. I'm not one of those people, right? I'm not. Like, I'm pro player choice. But that was the issue, is that he ran away from New Orleans to go team up with LeBron in LA instead of being the transcendent talent and leading a team to a championship. It's a narrative. I don't agree with it, but that is why I believe Anthony Davis doesn't get treated the same or similarly to Kevin Durant. Go ahead, Ryan. You can respond. We have another Lakers fan up here that will go right after you.
All right. If Anthony Davis became a villain, what did Kevin Durant become when he joined a 73-win Warriors team, if not a villain? I'm sorry.
He became an opportunist, and they followed him to Brooklyn. Like that, he can't do it himself. He's got to go run to Curry, and then he's going to go now finally lead his own team in Brooklyn, and like that carried.
I mean, respectfully, before the big trades, can we honestly say I would have thought Kevin Durant would have got a ring on his own way before Anthony Davis would have got one, right? Can we just say that, like, because those guys was on the cusp of making the finals, right? That 3-1 OKC team, right? Right? What has Anthony Davis done before he actually got some prolific players, bro? He did have some guys. He had more depth, right? He had some better schemes going on in New Orleans. I totally agree with the host, but
let Ryan go,
trades, bro. Like, what has he done?
Well, we're gonna
big numbers.
We're gonna get you into the flow of things. Don't worry. Ryan, go ahead, and then we'll get Alan.
All right. The last thing I want to say is I don't want to make this a disrespect towards Kevin Durant at all, because you don't need to pull one player down to bring another player up. To me, this is all about making sure I put respect on Anthony Davis's name. Kevin Durant is a hell of a player. Respect the hell out of him. I actually don't have a problem with him, how he's played his career. We do not need to pull people down to lift others up. This is nothing like that. So I want to make it absolutely clear. No disrespect to Kevin Durant. He's one of the best players I've ever seen in my entire life. Nothing bad about him. I just want Anthony Davis respected the same way Kevin Durant gets respect. So I don't want this to be anything bad about KD at all. I want to make that very clear. That's all. I'm done.
Yeah, stop disrespecting Anthony Davis, people. Like, it's sad. Like, although I'm not gonna lie, I think the Mr. Glass Anthony Davis meme, top 5 in NBA meme history. That ain't going nowhere. Let him get hurt again. It's gonna come back. It's hilarious.
Chris, if they don't make the playoffs this year, then how do we label those guys?
If they don't make the playoffs this year, in all honesty, Rob Pelinka should lose his job. That's that. I mean, that's it. Alan.
LeBron picked this team.
Well, he may be in the beginning, not this offseason. Alan has joined us on the stage. Alan Bravo, another Lakers fan, and then we got our friend and brother Sam Spalding on the 1 and 2s, a Chicago Lakers and Los Angeles Bulls fans. We'll get their thoughts on this discussion first with Alan. Alan, good morning. How are you, and what are your thoughts on this probative AD and KD comparison?
I find it funny. I'm actually not even in like, that's not even what kind of even triggered me. I think what triggered me was someone said that the bubble championship is fraudulent. Like, bro, don't even come up in here and act like you wouldn't be ecstatic for your Knicks to win that bubble championship.
Nets. No, he's no longer a Knicks fan.
Oh God,
he's a Nets fan.
11 years now.
Yep, I'm just setting the record straight.
Yeah, like anybody, any team, any franchise, or anybody that can sit up here and tell me that their team, if they didn't win that championship, that they wouldn't be excited for their team or be blowing it out of proportion. Like, calm down. Every team in here would be happy, or every person in here would be happy for that championship. So,
yeah, but deep down inside, I would know it was a fraudulent championship.
That is such cap.
Yeah, that is cap, bro. Like,
that is such.
Yeah, I was gonna beat Denver, right?
That's so bad, Pod Thorne.
Anyway,
we have
why him up here is because that's
years ago.
That is just cap. That you.
It's not cap. He's had a lot of.
We have breaking news that broke 33 minutes ago. Nasir Little, 4-year, $28 million extension for the Portland Trail Blazers. Oh. Shout out to Nasir Little.
I got a question for everyone. Does Jordan Poole sneak Draymond Green now that he's paid?
No.
Just a question.
Alan, wrap up.
After Brendan Haywood's comments.
Wrap up what you got, Alan, and we're going to move to Sam real quick.
Yeah. No, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's just like, anybody, any team or any fan should be happy for that championship, So just to sit here and say that it's a fraud championship is just kind of, it's crazy. Anyway, I did have a question. I did have
to them.
What?
You don't know how sports banter works, dude. This is how it works.
It's different. It's a different locale, Pod. I've lived across this country. I've lived in foreign countries. There are 3 places where the banter is hilarious, but a lot of people mistake it. New York, Boston, and London.
Facts. I did have a question for you, Chris, though.
Go ahead, Alan.
Do you think, in your opinion, do you think Jordan Poole is kind of an overpay?
No.
No?
No. Like it's the same thing with Hero and the same thing with RJ. The first thing you have to understand is you can only, as a team, pay what the market dictates. And RJ Barrett set the market. Then Tyler Hero got more, and then Jordan Poole got more. The biggest question is, in my mind, should Tyler Hero have gotten Jordan Poole's contract, and should Jordan Poole have gotten Tyler Hero's contract?
Exactly.
That was my takeaway from it, and not a knock on Jordan Poole. People said that Tyler Hero only averaged what he averaged because he wasn't a starter. He still played starters minutes and played half his minutes against starters. So, like, he still scored enough to average basically 25 and 5 on great shooting with over 2.5 threes per game. Whereas Jordan Poole averaged under 20, 4 and 4, and had Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins as teammates. Tyler Hero had 2 dudes who can't shoot threes, 1 dude who didn't play, and another guy who shot like 1 out of every 7. So,
okay, yeah. When you explain it like that, it makes sense.
That's facts. That's 100% facts. He hit it on the nail.
Yeah. All right, Sam Spalding, my brother from Clubhouse, here on Spaces on the 1s and 2s. How you doing, Sam?
Man, I'm doing great. How did this question come about? I need to know the origins, Chris.
Man, we don't need to rehash the last 15 minutes. People don't need to relive the trauma that is the disrespect to Anthony Davis, because a lot of people don't want to put him at his rightful place as one of the top 5 big men in the league. That's all. That's how we got it.
I mean, like, okay, so just looking at it from its totality, like the only thing that I would say that I would knock against either one of them, as far as like KD or AD, is the fact that they should have did what they did and understood the waters of the NBA sooner, because in the age that they're going to be associated with is going to be considered the super team age. And both of them wanted to like stay in their locales where they were when they got signed a little too longer than they needed to be. So in my personal opinion, I would have rather, like, because AD had an opportunity to go to a team that would have created him into a contender earlier, and the same with KD. So I think that they're on the same track record, but at the same time, like when I look at AD, I see a phenomenal basketball player by all stretch of the metrics. And whatever he does on all of those different levels is like, it's amazing. The one thing that you can say is he's not as healthy as you would like him to be, but that often comes in times when you're not playing, for a competitive situation, or also in situations where they put you outside of the position that you would naturally want to be in. So like, I couldn't imagine if they put KD at the 5, what that would look like. So when I'm just looking at the both of them and the trajectories of where they are, both of them are unicorns for what they do, how they do, and how they move. It's just now that KD has a lot more hardware to prove what he's done, to have that different conversation that kind of just separates the two in the conversation of where they both sit. But AD, like, man, like, I can't look at a specimen and look at a basketball player and say he don't check all of the boxes, and then at the same time look at the area in which he was playing in and say that he's supposed to do all of these things, because you have so many other players that are linking up together that have the same mindset. That's now it's like, yo, it ain't just one of you, it's 4 of us that feel the way that you feel, look the way that you feel, play the way that you play, and we gonna all play our role. And now it's 1-on-4, and you got to deal with us on every given night. And it's like, okay, well, you're just looking up the mountain at that point. My bad. I got a little passionate, Chris.
You good, Sam? Nah, it's a good question. How you been, man? You had a good weekend?
Man, I had a fantastic weekend. I woke up with a question, but I don't want to derail the room. I asked you privately, but it's hoop wise.
All right, cool. We got Bonkai and Micah with their hands up. We're going to work them in. I want to say thank you to everybody who's passed through today. We are entering the 3rd hour, the last hour of the show. It is 12:05. Thank you for spending any bit of time with us here on Hoop Spaces. Shout outs down below. I see Viral Nico in the building. We got Block Senior, diehard Dallas Texan, diehard MFFL for life, and he frequents 77 Spaces, hosted by Jose and Rolo. They will be having their kickoff show this week, so I urge all of you to go ahead and like Block Senior, just dive in to some MFFL, because I'm going to tell you now, Luka ain't going anywhere, and the Mavs aren't going anywhere either. Have some fun with one of the best watches with Luka, and talk with Jose, Rolo, and Jazz on 77 Spaces. Also, down below, I want to give a shout out to Viral Nico, one of the very first people that we came across, and Ryan went down below. We opened up Hoop Spaces last year. Literally, it was me, Ryan, and we had Sean with the W came through, Nat came through. Literally, like 5 people that we didn't know came through. Viral Nico was one of those 5 on the very first day. He's been rocking with us ever since, always down to support the community that we're growing one day and one person at a time. So I just want to give him his own personal shout out. If you want a mic, go ahead and request it. Come on up for the last hour. Got plenty of basketball to still talk about. Also, another round of trivia, ladies and gentlemen, and we will do that now as we wait for the next speaker to speak. We know that Bankai said he wanted to do it last time, so we're going to use Bankai as our trivia player now. Bankai, you ready?
Yeah, I had a question, but okay.
Oh, you'll get the question after. Yeah, all right. You ready? All right. What nationality was Marco Polo?
Jesus. He was from Spain?
Nope. He's
Okay.
Venetian. Which scientist was awarded the 1921 Nobel Prize in Physics?
I don't even know. I'm not going to lie.
Albert Einstein. Name the world's largest ocean.
Shoot, I had this one too. Am I being timed?
You're going to start getting the clock, so.
Damn.
The Pacific. All right. Last one, man. Last one. How many bones do sharks have in their bodies?
Is this going to be a bad joke?
No. It's a
None?
question. It's a trivia question.
You got this. You got
None.
this.
None. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. 1
Thank
for
you.
5. Give Bankai a round of applause. Bankai, what is your question?
Okay, so since all 3 of them got paid this summer, start, bench, or cut? RJ, Poole, or Hero?
Well,
Next question.
I would probably
Bench Pool.
Yeah, I would probably bench Pool, start Hero. Yeah, I'd probably bench Pool, start Hero, and cut RJ, because to me, RJ's a 3. And that question is more centered around a guard.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You would.
Although,
Right.
you know
Right,
what?
right,
It gets a little tricky there just because, I don't know. Some people think RJ's a 2. Some people think he's a 3. I actually don't even know what he is at this point. He can be either one.
Well, the idea is, and Sean isn't here, he hated this comparison. I've always had this comparison. RJ Barrett is the 1 inch shorter version of Chris Middleton. Like, he's going to be a 23, 24, 5-and-5 guy, or 5-and-4 guy with the steal, on half a block, shooting 44, 45% from the floor, and 38 to 30 to 41 from deep at the height of his career, averaging, again, 22 to 24 points. That's exactly what Chris Middleton is doing now, which, by the way, multiple All-Stars and helped lead a team to a championship. He's a wing. He's not a guard.
I love that comparison. Actually,
now you do.
Yeah, he's playoff tested with Butler.
No,
You can't forget about his intangibles.
This is my first time hearing somebody actually comparing him to Chris Middleton. I really like it.
I'm gonna start paying to get in these spaces. He keep talking about my boy RJ Barrett like that, man.
But Chris, you've never said anything. Like, you've always been very supportive of RJ from the start. I mean, you were the one screaming from the heavens during the summer. He's going to get paid. Like, he's going to get his money. And sure enough, what happened? He got his money. He got paid. So.
TJ weighing in on the convo from down below saying RJ Barrett's just another Duke basketball player. Shout out TJ, never change.
TJ, you got to relax.
All right, we got Micah and Jay. We want to get them in here, and we will do one last round of trivia with Alan because we got to do better than 1 in 5. Like, that's just not cutting it. That right there, sir, that 1 in 5, that is very Quentin Grimes-esque shooting.
Yeah, you had time to Google those questions too, bro. Come on.
All right. So we're gonna go to Micah. We'll get Micah's take. We got Jay, the Wakanda tech support, and we got another round of trivia with Alan. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
Yeah, Chris, all I was going to say is, how is it considered bad the way AD left? I mean, if anything, if your superstar is wanting out and he's in a contract year, isn't the best thing that he tells you, hey, I'm not going to re-sign? And look at everything that they is able to get from LA. I mean, Pelicans probably licking them lips about that pick they're about to get from next season. But no, the way that's if your superstar wants out, then I mean, I wish our star would have left that way, but that's neither here nor there. And as far as Poole is nowhere near an overpay because number one, the discounts that they got with Wiggins, and then number two is already being reported that Orlando was about to offer him a max. So to lock him up as a future player, that bodes well for him, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right, appreciate it. Jay, the Wakandan tech support, ladies and gentlemen, up here on stage. Go JSU, Jackson State University. If you don't know, proud alumnus as well as a fan of the Memphis Lakers and Los Angeles Grizzlies. Jay, the Wakanda tech support, your thoughts on the AD discussion that we're having, and anything you want to add in here as we get ready for the opening of the NBA regular season tomorrow. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're down below, if you haven't signed up yet, go ahead, take 3 minutes. It's not even 3 minutes. Click on the review newsletter. That way you can get it into your mailbox and you can skip the rigmarole of trying to find good stuff to read about basketball, because there's a lot of stuff out there that's bad, real bad. Jay, what's up, man? Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I just popped in. To be honest with you, I don't have the context of the AD conversation that y'all having. Do you have like a recap for me?
Hoops Faces Ryan had a very simple question. Why is AD not getting the same respect as Kevin Durant, despite both being labeled as potentially injury prone?
Because AD has top 5 MVP consideration talent, and he's only in his entire career given us arguably one of those seasons, whereas KD in his career has given us 7. So that's the big reason. That's probably 80% of it. And then the second reason is since AD has been in a Laker jersey outside the bubble, there's been way too many 10-game, 20-game stretches where he's on the court, but there's no dominance. There's no 8 minutes of brilliance. There's no 4 minutes of brilliance from AD on the offensive end. Now, defensively, he's covering up for a multitude of sins, and that is impressive. But, AD doesn't go against, let's say, a Portland or San Antonio and put up, 30 points, right? And that's what we're expecting out of AD, is that when he rolls into a team like OKC or he rolls into Orlando last year, this year is going to be tough because they're long and can play a lot of defense. But we don't see dominance from AD on the offensive end. Like we expect like a 30-12 and 6 stat line from him, and that's not what he does. So that's the issue with AD.
If they play through
Very
him, he can. If they play through him, he can. He's shown that, man.
I agree. I agree.
Give me a stat line for this Warriors game against Wiseman and JaMychal Green and those guys. What do you think he's gonna have? Give me 25, 10, and 5. That's
maybe a
pretty damn
block,
close.
maybe a steal.
That's pretty damn close to 30 and 12, bro. That's pretty proficient, man.
It is, but you're right in that they
I agree
don't.
with everything you said, except the fact that he's not
He's
that
he's
guy that
not
you
gonna
think he
he's
is.
not gonna get
He
30.
still can get 30 and 10, bro. But they have to literally play through him. But it's not gonna happen with 8 point guards over there and them not being able to acclimate everybody in
Well,
time from the start of the season.
it's not gonna happen because he's never been able to shoot above 33% from deep. He just
Well,
don't,
yeah.
he's just not gonna
I don't
have the
like the fact that
volume.
he's transitioned his game to more perimeter
Well,
based
well,
shots as
Well,
opposed to
they
banging.
have to.
He doesn't want to bang. He
King.
doesn't want to bang.
Stop. He has
Well,
to. That's gonna prolong his career.
yeah,
Like if he
yeah.
doesn't do
Sadly.
it, yeah. The issue is he's not a good 3-point shooter. He's tried this before where he's gotten close to 3 per game. He only hits 1 out of 3, and that was his best year. And the issue is they don't have enough of an interior presence to not have him down in the paint, or at least in the high post. And so he's never gonna have the volume offensively to get to 30 points per game. Like, can he get back to 28? Sure, but you got to find 20 shots per game for him.
And then not only that, but he's playing with the wrong era of LeBron. So this version of LeBron, AD can't run a pick and roll with him and pop because LeBron can't put his foot in the ground and get to the rim with quickness. Now LeBron can still get to the rim with strength, but they're the way the Lakers have been constructed. There is no pop space for AD to kind of flow into. So you see AD posting up 15 feet from the basket, which is super weird to me. I've never really understood that. And he has a pivot where he tries to face up, and it becomes like a little isolation thing. But you don't really want AD playing like prime Carmelo Anthony. He
Yes,
can,
he will get injured
he
again.
he
Dribbling the ball too
can,
much.
yeah. And so that's the issue with AD is you can make the argument that he's not been optimized his entire career. Again, except for that bubble run. AD needs a 5 like JaVale McGee, like a Clint Capella, Mitchell Robinson, so he can kind of rove on defense. But the issue is once you have a 5 like that, now the lane is clogged. So now if he does decide to face up and drop step or Euro way his way to the rim, there's another big in the way. So it's the way AD has decided to build out his game has been really weird. And the things that he needs to put in his game, he doesn't because, like Chris said, he's not built to bang. But even, one step, drop, reverse, pivot, jumpers, you don't really see that enough. And he's not efficient at them enough. Like, I would love for AD to play like old man Dirk at this point of his career, minus the threes. But
Jay, can
that's
I
not
interject for
how.
a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like in responding to what you're saying and just looking at the Lakers and looking at like the past few injuries, like I do agree the fact that he's dribbling as much as he's dribbling, those are the things that gets his ankles and his lower body into situations because like sometimes unfortunately the quickness is not there to get your ankle out the way when somebody's falling down or you falling down on somebody, et cetera, because he is so big and he is so tall and he is so lanky. But like in the way that they've used him in everything that they've been doing with the Lakers, they really haven't had any other choices because what else can you do with AD but use all of his talents, but use all of his things? And like, yes, he hasn't gotten the best version of LeBron in the sense of what that version of LeBron was when he was younger. But at the same time, like, like they were saying, like he's not gonna get all of those looks at the basket. He's not gonna get the entire touches to be able to do like that 30. So if you're saying that he gonna do 25 and 10 and he gonna give you 2 blocks, like that puts him in contention for anything in the league because like what more can you actually ask for? I think in this inflated number situation that we call and we love as the NBA, like we're just looking for people to just put up bigger and bigger numbers. Like what are we, how much more can we ask people to do? How much more can we ask players to do? Like, so
They getting paid
25
enough, man. Guys are getting paid upward $40-50 million, man, and not even putting 30 balls up in the playoffs.
Yeah,
You seen
don't
it last
don't don't
playoffs. You
pocket
seen it
watch.
last year.
Nah,
You
it's
Don't
seen
you
it last year.
shouldn't don't pocket watch, King. It's only gonna make you miserable. Pocket
yeah.
watching ain't where it's at.
You can't. That would be an inefficient way for me to look at the league and to look at everybody's pockets and see what they're doing based on what their
Duncan Robinson got $80
production.
million. Did he garner $80 million? Has Adebayo
Again, but
garnered
see,
$30 million?
again, you're
Watching,
pocket watching, man. Why
right?
you pocket watching?
They
Negative. It's
felt
just
that he was
about
worth it,
what
and
is
they gave it to him.
But
Like
the players the players are going to ask for everything they can get. The team pays what the market dictates. That $18 million a year contract for Duncan Robinson was market value. That's all it is. Like that's why I'm saying, like if you complain about a player getting a large contract and not equaling productive value as a production to a dollar amount, like a $1 ratio gives you X amount of production. Like that's one way to look at the game. But if that's the case, then 85% of the players fail to live up to their predicated value based upon their
and
contract.
why? But why though? But why though?
But hold on.
Because that's what the market is.
Why do they not live up to those contracts?
Because those are arbitrary, subjective things that people do as fans.
I
Go ahead,
really
Sam.
don't like to interject.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm
Sorry,
saying, no. Everybody's good. Like, bro, you cool. But I'm just saying, like, if we were in a situation right now where all of us on Hoop Spaces and somebody was willing to give us this for this, we would take the ultimate dollars that we could take for everything that they're going to ask us for. And then we'll figure out how to live up to that and how to be that on a daily basis, period. So
or trade you away for something complimentary.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm not faulting a player for taking the dollar amount of what, the cost of business is today. I would never do that. I can't do that. And I don't pocket watch when it comes down to that. But when it comes down to my personal fandom for personal teams, like, I can be like, oh, well, you not living up, you not coming up to the bill of what I expected you to be as a fan. But I'm not going to say like, oh, well, you didn't deserve this, because if billions are being made, bro, get your bread.
Absolutely. And it's the TV.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to track this story down. Apparently, James Bouknight of the Charlotte Hornets may have been arrested for DUI or something else. Not getting a clear thing, but it's popped up now on 3 different sites. None of the fake Twitter sites, by the way. Like I'm not claiming those. I'm not saying this happened. I'm looking to see if there's any other information
Zion
out
Williamson
there.
to the Knicks. Zion Williamson to the Knicks.
Okay, King. Chill. Let Sam finish his thought. We got Jay the Wakandan, and then we're gonna do trivia with Alan. We've got a couple more people who've popped in that you should follow. All Nat is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Natfluential is the handle. All Nat is the podcast about to blow up, doing huge things. Make sure you shoot a follow now. I said it last year towards the end of the season when she started picking up a lot of steam. I'm going to say it again. Follow her now while you can. Like, she's going to be big, and she's not going to have the time for you. And you're going to hop in those mentions and say something bad. She gonna set you straight. You're going to enjoy it. Make sure you shoot a follow. Because also, she just got hooked up with the who's who of Warriors Twitter and Warriors media. They are getting together for the Warriors Huddle, and they've got a commemorative podcast coming out. You can get her next to the likes of Marcus Thompson. So, like, that's how big she's getting, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you shoot her a follow. Also in the building, we have Jeff J. Says, host of BetX on the MSG Networks, also host of Power After Hours. Evan Townsend of Project Spurs is in the building, getting into the NBA draft. Hey, they're already there. So if you want some info on the NBA draft, make sure you shoot Evan Townsend a follow, and you can read the words over at Project Spurs. All right, Jay, we'll get to you. Then we're going to do some trivia with Alan, and we're going to get ready to wrap up as we head the back end of the 3rd hour. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? JSU by 40. Let's get that out the way. It is homecoming week. So I'm definitely excited about that, to be on campus again and, breathe the air of nostalgia. Chris, Why does everybody think Draymond's priced out with a new CBA coming, new TV deals, money, and the cap going up?
I don't know. I don't know why I don't know why we're still on this Draymond thing. Like
Yeah,
it kills
like
because everything was handled until the video leaked, and then everybody wants to talk, but then it's still handled. It's all done
yeah,
internally. There's gonna be a
right.
fine. He suspended himself. He came back. He apologized to Jordan Poole individually. He apologized to Lacob individually. He apologized to Steve Kerr individually. He apologized to Steph individually. He apologized to the whole team. He got in front of the camera, made a fool out of himself again, and apologized to us, the fan. He's gonna be back. And if
Yeah,
the Lacob family wants to pay $500 million in a luxury tax, guess what? He's gonna get
that's
it
their
back.
business. Yeah, I don't.
How about Jordan Poole and package him up with his best friend
Super weird
Draymond
to
now
me.
for KD?
No, wouldn't happen.
Nah,
KD left, and if KD wanted to come back, it would be as a free agent,
What
not
I
as a
thought
trade.
was going to happen, initially before he even came out and started defending himself, which was just odd. You hit it on the nail. It was all done internally, from what I understand. Jordan Poole co-signed him not getting suspended, but again, it's real. It was handled terribly, and they basically
Well,
gave.
no, it wasn't. It was handled great
But
until the leak. Someone leaked.
But when
That
have we seen in the history somebody doing something egregious and getting a platform behind it?
plenty of times, unfortunately.
When?
Mike Tyson.
I'm saying in basketball, man.
What?
You
Basketball,
gonna
bro.
hold a
Come on, bro.
conversation?
Yeah.
He literally had a press conference.
Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, Paul Pierce. I can give you more names.
Saying it's handled the right way just because it was leaked. Basically,
No. What I'm
That's the
saying is an individual person committed something that violated terms of work could be construed as a workplace assault. However, within the contract that individual person signed, the team is directly responsible for any type of disciplinary action. Just like if you were at work and you got in trouble, you would answer to HR. HR went about their process. They forwarded it to the league. The league had to either agree with it or disagree with it due to the severity of the incident during the leak of the video. And then after the leak of the video, they went back, did the same thing, and now look, he's coming back Thursday.
Chris, respectfully, is Draymond Green irreplaceable?
No one is irreplaceable in that offense
That's all I
except for
wanted to
Steph.
hear. That's all I wanted to hear, because that is the discussion in Twitter Spaces right now. That this
Well,
man is irreplaceable.
then I feel
defensive
bad for
blah,
Twitter
blah, blah.
Spaces. I feel bad for Twitter Spaces because that's not a great conversation to have.
Facts. I don't know why they put him solely as the defensive anchor on his team when they obviously were down 2-1. You know what I mean?
They don't. He's not the defensive anchor any longer.
And they got Jermichael Green and a young Wiseman. That doesn't.
King, you gotta let people finish. You got a real bad habit, bro. He's not the defensive anchor he once was. He's still a great defensive player, and he, combined with Andrew Wiggins, forms the backbone of the Warriors defense. Jay, hop back in here, and we're joined on stage by All Nat, and we'll get to her after we do trivia with Alan.
Oh, Nat.
Yeah, for sure. The only other thing I wanted to add is I would go in the opposite order. I would start RJ because he's a two-way player and he's cheap, and then I would bring Poole off the bench. He's a Sixth Man of the Year candidate. And then I would cut Hero because I get no defense, and Hero actually got benched from the playoff rotation against the Celtics. So I still think Hero's a good player, but the way the league is now, if you can get a player that can give you 20 and play defense, that's worth its weight in gold at any position.
Oh, I can definitely understand that, but to correct, RJ makes more. That now the contract extensions kick in, Poole, Hero, RJ, but right now it's RJ, Hero, Poole in terms of
but they're all on. You talking about rookie deals though, so that's easily manageable.
Well, I know. I'm just correcting just to make sure that the numbers are right. That's all.
Yeah, I get what you mean. That's about it, man. Looking forward to the Grizzlies season. I'm looking forward to it. This is a very exciting NBA season. I'm glad that Hoops is back, and can't wait to do this every day.
Yeah, no, that's what we're going to be here for. I'm going to use this time we are now halfway through the third hour to welcome everybody in to Hoop Spaces wherever you are. Thank you for spending any part of your time here, getting ready for season 2. Up on stage, we've got a couple of great people that you should follow in terms of content creation. That is myself, and that is all Nat Fluential. And we're going to get to her after we do a quick round of trivia. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is just regular random trivia, not basketball trivia just yet. We'll work that in because some of y'all, yeah, you got it. You got to step your trivia game up. All right, Alan, are you ready?
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Which country is the city Prague located in?
What city is the?
Which country is the city Prague located in?
Country, Europe.
That is a continent.
Okay.
Czech Republic.
Republic. Okay.
What does the term piano mean?
What does the word term
piano mean?
You are giving me some tough questions. Give me like 2 seconds.
Lord,
I don't know. A large keyboard music instrument.
To be played softly.
Oh, okay.
Who was the first American to go into space?
Reportedly.
Reportedly.
Dude, I can't hear.
Alan Shepard. All right, last one. Which planet in our solar system has the most gravity?
Which planet has the most gravity?
Which planet in our solar system has the most gravity?
Jupiter.
Stephen Curry.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, give Alan a round of applause. He went 1 for 4. Jupiter, 1 for 5. Jupiter is the correct answer. I do happen to think he Googled that. It's okay. Alan, thank you for playing. We will be featuring these rounds of general trivia in every show to help carry us through into another segment and to just lighten it up. Up next, though, we have the wonderful Nat Fluential. That is the handle, at Nat Fluential. You should follow it. All you got to do is click on the Avi, shoot a follow. The queen of Golden State Warriors Twitter, in my opinion, and someone who's well on their way to being a national voice. Nat, good morning. Thank you for being able to stop in.
Good morning. I'm not the queen of anything, but thank you. Mad voices on Warriors Twitter, so I appreciate you though. I just had a question because I heard the Draymond question and I didn't know if there was a conversation before. So I just wanted to know like if that was from something or the question about whether he's irreplaceable.
Yeah, a combo question was the situation essentially handled right? Could you name any instances previously from players that had something similar? But really, is it that Draymond Green, is he irreplaceable to the point where the Laker family will give him $30 million a year as a re-up?
Yeah, he's definitely not getting $30 million a year.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
But I don't even think they want to pay him the 27, to be honest, that he's owed on that option. So, you know, I think, I guess I would reframe the question a little bit, but it wasn't my question, so I get it. But I don't know that it's that Draymond's irreplaceable, but he can't be replicated, not in a single player. And I think that's what has a lot of fans or people, but I know particularly like Warriors fans, because it's like you're not going to get a single player to do all the things that Draymond does. Like that's just a fact. But I don't think that you have to get a player that does all the things that Draymond does. Like I see King making faces. I'm not sure if he's disagreeing or not, but I'd like to hear from him, I guess, when I'm done. But
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, and I didn't want to interrupt anymore.
Oh no, thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, so I mean, I think like the question to ask really is like, Can the Warriors, with the pieces they have, or are there pieces they can go out and get? Like, should they lose Draymond, that would still allow them to have a top 5 defense. And if they can do that, and their offense is still going to be a top 5 offense, then they can compete, right? And they can contend. But I think fans are very caught up in like, if Dre is gone, then who's going to do what he does? And the answer is no one, because like that's what makes him one of the most versatile, unique, and best defenders of his era, and also like in the NBA history, right? So you're not going to get someone who's going to do all those things, but Wiseman gets a little better, Kuminga gets a little better. They can do some of the things. You have Andrew at the point of attack, right? Like you get like your defensive pieces. You continue to pick up players like a Dante, whoever, right? That's going to lend to your defense. And then all of a sudden, you have a top defense, And so it doesn't have to be in a single player. And you're not going to get another Draymond. So that's like my thoughts on the situation.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's irreplaceable. The only player that's irreplaceable is Steph. I mean, let's just be honest. He's the greatest player in Warrior history, and on his way to make a claim to be the greatest player in the modern NBA and in the NBA in total. Hey, I'm gonna call this a confirmation of some sort. Will Kunkel of Fox Charlotte, the local TV station, has put out that James Bouknight apparently has been arrested, although the charges have not been stated. He was arrested in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. More info forthcoming, as he was supposed to also be at a team function later today. You know what? I want to take the time, Nat, to let you go ahead and give your platform, on that pod, a huge shout out, because you do a great job there, but also to tell the people what you're looking forward to season 2 of the Hoopstresses comes around into being as well. And then she probably got a work call.
Oh, sorry. I know I was on mute. My bad. Yeah, so thank you for that. Hoopstresses, we're actually doing the spaces tonight. So sorry, I'll leave and drop the link in a second. But join us if you're not familiar with the Hoopstresses. It's like a bunch of us women who know basketball. We cover the NBA and the WNBA. And so NBA season's back. So we're going to be having a space tonight just to talk about, what we're looking forward to for the season and what to expect, that sort of a thing. But like serious hoop knowledge amongst the Hoopstresses. So definitely, if you're available later, 9 p.m., join us on Spaces. We'll be here. As far as on that pod, lots of big things happening there as well. So thank you to anyone who's tuned in so far. It is an NBA podcast, but largely I focus on the Warriors. So, but it's going to be kind of like before, it was like I talked about the teams who the Warriors would be matching up against. And so I'd have insiders and people from other fan bases or who covered the team come on and join me. So if we were playing the Bucks or whoever, right, you'd be getting like really, really great knowledge on the Bucks. So focus of the show is going to be switching a little bit. There are changes coming to it. Probably won't get implemented for like another week, but I'm happy to, I'll be happy to announce that when it does happen. But I will have like a new regular co-host. That's Justin, the package JG. So I don't know if you guys know him, but if you don't, you should. And we'll be like a true Warriors podcast going forward. And check us out also on Golden Spaces. That's on Wednesdays. We'll be doing our first space to talk about, the first Warriors game. And, obviously Golden Spaces were dedicated to the Warriors as well. So obviously a lot of Warriors content, but if you just want more general NBA content, then definitely hit follow Hoopstresses, and that's where you'll get kind of a more broad mix of just NBA at large. Is that what you said, Chris?
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure that people can know where to go to find you, because you're awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This makes me very uncomfortable, but thank you.
Yeah, you know what? What's really funny is the better you become, right? The more you have to fend off the compliments. It's annoying, isn't it?
Sure, whatever you say. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it. But we can move on from me now.
Okay. We're going to move the spotlight off of Nat. I do urge everybody, though, to tap in and follow @NatFluential is the Twitter handle. I'm telling you now, like I can't say everything. It's not my job. Big big things in the future coming. We'll go to Sam Spalding, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Mugman's popped up here. We do want to give Alan a shout out. I have somebody who DM'd me saying they can't have a 1-for-5 closeout on trivia, so maybe we'll run one more again. Maybe somebody will at least get 3 out of 5. Sam, what's up, man? How you doing?
What up, bro? Okay, so Nat, I had a thought. And I love your content. I love everything that you've been doing, and I really appreciate the way that you've grown. But I had a thought because I was gonna ask Chris this this question off mic, but I'm gonna ask you because I just want to give you a personal challenge. Are you willing to accept it? It's a personal overall basketball challenge. Are you willing to accept that?
Once I hear the terms, I don't accept anything without knowing the terms.
Right?
It's just a question outside of Golden State.
Well, if it's just the question, man, just ask the question.
It's just okay. So the question is, as a tandem overall, who is how can I say this? Who is the most? Because we're looking at two guys. Who would you say as a tandem would be the most overall affluential, the best duo? The duo that I would give you would be Paul Gasol, Andrew Bynum, and then I would give you Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. Who would you say overall as a tandem is the better tandem?
It was Gasol and who? Bynum?
Gasol and Bynum as a tandem.
Or Cat and Gobert?
And Rudy Gobert. Like, who would you say overall has the better skills? Overall has the better... Who's the better team?
I mean, if I'm just saying purely talent, then I'd
You gotta think about it.
I don't.
I'm gonna still say it's Gasol and Bynum, but if you're like, we got to give Gobert and Cat some time together. But I think if you're talking like straight talent, I might lean Gobert and Cat.
Yeah,
straight talent, Gobert and Cat, and then
if
overall,
I'm just going straight talent, but like the other two accomplished things, so
like
the line.
The question is hard to answer because we haven't seen Cat and Gobert.
I understand that. That's why it's a question, Chris.
Yeah, Andrew Bynum, he got his bag and he went and got weed and left the league. So I don't know how he
listen
that correlation.
But Andrew Bynum as a talent.
How about Gasol as a talent? He's dynamic.
Exactly.
Grizzlies as well as the Lakers. He's probably both of those guys.
But wait, this is for Nat. I'm just asking her because I was going to ask Chris this question off mic. So,
all right, I agree with Nat. I would lean to Bynum and Gasol for the exact reason Nat said.
Because they're accomplished.
We've seen them. We're biased towards it because they've accomplished it. Yeah. Like it's that's what I'm saying. Like if you want to make a comparison question, it's got to be some time. Like give us 20 games because to be honest, we don't know what it's going to look like. They played like maybe 20 minutes together in preseason.
I know it's easy to go that way, and I get it. But when I look at what they've accomplished, and I look at the actual games of what they've done, like as a body of talent, can I say that Andrew Bynum is way better than Gobert?
You could try. I don't know if you would necessarily win.
He is.
You could try. That. I don't think you'd necessarily win. You don't like Gobert. Like we can hear the bias in your voice, but like
no. I'm not having a bias. I'm not having.
I was talking to King.
Yeah, he's overpaid, and that championship a bust statement from Karl Anthony Towns, he's gonna definitely pay for that this year. Seriously.
See, King's got the beat on everybody. If I may,
real quick, I just want to shout out the Queen, man. Alongside what you were doing, man, just great contact overall throughout the summer, throughout the WNBA, man. And if I may ask, Nat, just keep us updated from time to time with the Griner situation. Just wanted to say free Brittany Griner, man. Praying for her. That stuff weighs heavy on me. And what a prolific finals we've seen with the Aces and the Aces. I mean, even the Storm, you know, to a lesser degree, just played awesome basketball, just fundamental basketball. It looked like the Spurs versus the Pistons out there. It was just beautiful basketball to see. And again, that, you know, in your earliest convenience, you know, just keep us updated with WNBA stuff, you know, alongside the NBA, because I would like to see these girls get paid a lot more than they're getting paid. Especially,
all right, King. We good. You good. We'll get you where we need to get you. Don't worry. We got you. Moving on, we do have another round of trivia. Bonkai went 1 for 5. Allen went 1 for 5. We need somebody.
What are you saying again?
We need somebody who's not going to go 1 for 5 in trivia. And so
give me the questions then.
Well. See, to help this, John, I changed the questions. These are now kids' questions, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we are going to do trivia with these kids' questions, just so we can leave with the good taste here. All right, music is playing. John is ready. John, are you ready?
All right, give it them.
Okay. Where does the Vice President of the United States live while in office?
Vice President?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, also in the White House or in Camp David?
The Naval Observatory.
Oh, I wouldn't know that.
How many planets are in our solar system?
It's supposed to be officially 8. I still think of it as 9.
Trick question. There are more than 11 once you add in the dwarf planets. What fruit do kids traditionally give to teachers?
An apple?
Who is Mickey Mouse's girlfriend?
No, that would be Minnie Mouse, right?
All right, this is it. He's 2 and 2. This one is we need this one. Okay. What is a doe?
Doe, a deer, a female deer.
The starting power forward for the Dallas Mavericks. Good try.
All right. Yeah, I know.
All right, everybody gives.
I'm also not gonna stand for the Rudy Gobert slander since I watched him play in Eurobasket. So
There you go. Everybody
let's make
gives.
that clear.
Everybody gives John a round of applause. He missed the other trivia. He didn't realize that the last question was going to be a trick question just to get him wrong. All right, yeah, I'm not standing for the Rudy Gobert slander either. Neither is Bibbs. In fact, we're sitting for it because the entire fan base that doesn't like Gobert just outnumbers us like 20 to 1. Like, for real. I don't understand. Why do people not like Rudy Gobert? Is it because he's French?
No offensive ability in the post.
Go watch Eurobasket,
No
man. Like
footwork.
he has footwork. They just don't put the ball.
You think? Sorry. You think
go
the
ahead.
United States would have difficulty playing him in France during the Olympics or during that preparation?
It's the United States, man. We're not the United States of old, man. Come on, bro.
All right.
Oh, come on! Like
we've been
I remember
challenged over
the
years.
U.S. losing during the preseason to the French, though.
We've been losing. You're not saying anything that we don't know as collective conglomerate in here concerning USA basketball. It's been very up and down, bro. We know this.
Legitimately trust Andrew Bynum over Rudy Gobert to show up to work.
Yeah, that's a whole conversation. Yeah, that was a problem.
Look. See, the issue is that basketball is more than one facet, and the issue is Gobert is dominant in literally every facet but 2: points per game and free throw percentage. Every other thing for him, he's elite at: rebounding, paint defense, help defense, actual on-ball defense for a center. He can pass the ball. Like, it's because he doesn't have a hook shot. People are mad.
You mean he's got painting in the paint defense? He's got painting in the fucking paint. You know how much times he got
banged on down there, bro. Come
Well,
on.
what do you expect? He takes what do you
I
want
don't know
him to
about paint
do?
defense. I agree with everything except paint defense.
His job is to defend the paint. Players shoot a lower percentage.
Foul prowess? His foul prowess is horrible for the game.
Hey, Chris.
See, King, you have a retort and an opinion on everything. Yet the issue is you're not admitting the fact that everything he did, other than scoring points per game, is elite. Even the paint defense. You're saying he gets jammed on. Well, yeah, he's in the paint. Like, that's his job.
He's an upgrade of JaVale McGee, bro. He's without the chip.
Way better.
Wait, is this the dude that last
That's
week
all I'm
said
giving
that
him.
Rudy Gobert does nothing good?
I don't know. Too many people say that, even though, again,
JaVale McGee in his prime or Rudy Gobert.
Well, okay, all right, that's
who has
easy.
the
It's
defensive
Rudy
player
Gobert.
of the year, man?
Yeah, like you just don't like Gobert because he's light skinned, has
biased.
blonde hair, and is from France.
And because he don't got no bag.
It's like the Boston Celtics.
Yeah,
It's like
no
I'm
bag.
hoping and praying that the head that got caught up for the Celtics, man, really hurts them this year, man. I'm really hoping that's
All right, King.
I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, where are you from in New York, real quick?
Oh, I'm uptown with it, man.
Yeah, all right. Like I
born and raised in Brooklyn, but I'm uptown with it, man. Thankfully, out of the trenches.
It is quintessential New York speakeasy, in my opinion. Like, I love it. We just got to get you, more attuned to allow other people to finish their thoughts. Bankai, hop in here. We got 8 minutes to the closeout, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your 10-minute warning. We are going to go into your final take of the day, and we'll start off with Bankai. I want to thank everybody for popping in and spending any part of your day here. Hey, remember, there's more important things to life than basketball. James Bouknight needs to learn this. My thoughts and well wishes to him to be better, because this is now another incident in a track record of incidents. So when you do hear, you're not going to hear me make fun of the young man, because the young man obviously needs some help. All right, there you go. Bankai, final thought for today. What do you got?
Yeah, I feel like people just hate Rudy Gobert because it's like the popular thing to do on NBA Twitter. It's not because they have legit, mostly solid reasons to hate him. He's a very good player. It's just that people see other people hating him and they want to hate him. So it's not like the guy's done anything crazy throughout his career. Yeah, I mean, the only thing he did was that whole COVID boneheaded move that he had with the mics and stuff. But other than that, he's not polarizing. He's not, out there causing problems. He just plays basketball, and he plays basketball to the best of his abilities. And that's it. I just generally don't understand why everybody hates the guy so much.
I don't get it either. It's like what's really funny is people will defend to death the greatness of French fries, right? Yet they refuse to acknowledge the greatness of defense and rebounding. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Like, they treat Rudy Gobert the way they should be treating French fries. No cap.
With it.
John, last take for the day. John, what do you got?
I just want to be. There was an announcement by Andrew Marchand just a few minutes ago that Charles Barkley is staying for TNT for $100 million for the next 10 years. I want to give props to arguably the best pre-game and post-game show in the major sports other than NFL Live, I think. But I mean, props to him, and I'm very excited for the season. We're ready for Wingstop season in the other side of LA, so we cooking.
He was never gonna leave TNT. Like, there was this idea that he was gonna go join the LIV golf format. Understand, that was just a ploy. Because had he wanted to go, he just would have went. Like, he was coming off the end of his contract. So, shout out to Charles Barkley. I don't see him doing the full 10 years. Knowing what I know, that they are prepping for the next generation of NBA on TNT, and I don't see the full 10 years being made. Shout out to Charles Barkley, though. I think think he's often misunderstood. But he's not an angel either. He's got some stuff in his past, and it'll come out a little bit as you know, he's made a couple of statements, and people are still now starting to find out. Man, I tell you, at least I'm going to be entertained. We'll go to Jay, the Wakanda tech support. Final take for the day, Jay. Man, I thought we was going to make it. I thought we was going to make
so close.
it.
My phone was locked in my pocket. My phone was locked in my pocket. You got to give me a one. You got to give me a one-person gap.
Like when you heard it, how bad did you feel because you knew you was gonna miss it?
On a scale of 1 to 10, knowing that nobody's life was on the line, I say a 3.
Okay, we need to raise that up there. Yeah, we need to raise that up to at least.
No. Like nobody's lights are getting turned off if I make the horns. Like,
all right, what she got here? What is your final take of the day?
The Washington Wizards are going to be a sneaky fun team to watch.
Okay. I can't tell if that's deadpan humor or if he's being legit. I like it. I'm going to give him a point. Sam Spalding on the 1s and 2s. Your final take of the day, and please let it not be Andrew Bynum and Paul Gasol.
Nah, it's not going to be either. Like, I'm grateful for everything that you built, brother, and I'm wishing you nothing but the most success on this upcoming season. I'm happy that the season is back. I can't wait till Tuesday for kickoff, and I'm just happy to just have another season to just have conversations with all of you. Shout out to Hoop Spaces, shout out to everybody, Bankai, Jay Wakanda. I can't get to everybody in this short. My boy Sean is up here. And I see Bibbs. But I'm grateful for the community. I'm grateful for everything that's happening right now. And this is going to be the season. It's so many opportunities and so many things. So I'm just grateful. Hoops up.
All right. Appreciate you, Sam. King.
Hey, man, I was just
take.
I was just getting into your dialogue. I was gonna say, what happened to Kevin McHale, man? I liked his analyst perspective. Obviously, he's older, and he went through some sicknesses, but I miss him on TV, man. I know they're merging, like you said, in this new age TNT broadcasting, but I definitely miss Kevin McHale on the TV, man. Just breaking down games and giving his insight on NBA TV. I think the new NBA TV is kind of lame, to be honest with you.
All right. You're not the only one. That's why we're here. I mean, it's something I've said. There's a large group of fans who want something different that's what's being provided, and we're trying to bridge that gap one day at a time. Alan, go ahead, last take, and then we'll get to Mugman. I was trying to save Sean the last take so we could have some extra time, but he had to pop out for a phone call. Go ahead, Alan.
Man, I appreciate what you're doing, bringing the community, the NBA community together, man, and just big shout out to Chris, man. Really, honestly, I really appreciate what you're doing, man.
All right, I appreciate you for taking part in it, and I've looked at it. We can talk. We haven't set the parameters for onboarding future content creators, but I can tell you the bare minimum of what I'm going to be expecting is one written piece a week. A minimum of 2 spaces a week, plus your own content for any of those who are wondering what that is.
Chris.
That sounds like Joe the historian. Joe. What's up?
I think we met each other through a spaces, right? And, saying I think the friendship became quick. But right now, I think you really, excuse me, have became somebody who knows how to tick me off because saying your breakfast takes, saying they wasn't that bad. Saying your Michael Jackson take was horrible. But Chris, if you ever call the Knicks an evil empire again, that's just nasty. Nasty. Come on. You got to be formidable to be an empire, first of all. And evil empire, stop it. The Knicks have nowhere close to that. Sorry, I'm just saying that is just
estimated value team in the league, man. We doing pretty well. We don't care about ticket sales. It's the Mecca, man. and
I
then we in
understand
Brooklyn.
it's
Nets will
the
never
You,
run.
you know what's funny, Joe? You know what's funny is Nets fans for years wish they could have been in the same place as the Knicks. just saying. Where I'm at as a Sixers fan, I'm enjoying it either way. Because, like, both y'all are below us. Come holla at your boy. Embiid is ready. Let's go.
ready for
But
what?
Doc Rivers isn't.
Doc Rivers is a great coach.
Good luck with PJ Tucker contract this year. Good luck.
Let me get James in here. Let me get Mugman in here. And then I'm going to have to hit the button, ladies and gentlemen. James, final take of the day.
Yeah. Well, Rudy Gobert is one of those, players from like back in the day where they tell you go get the rebound, make play defense, and the shots will come off of the rim. So, he's one of them uncles that get left out. So, he'll be all right. But again, too, we'll send our prayers out to Nate Robinson. He's been battling his kidney stuff for a minute. So that's my take for today.
All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, you take care of that little one. I miss mine being that little. I ain't gonna lie. I got away with a lot more stuff. All right. We got Mugman up here. They were, kind, waiting. I appreciate that. Mugman, you've got the last word of the day. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that wraps up today's show. That's right. Brought to you by Slam Goods. You go over to slamgoods.com and pick you up a hoodie, pick up the Rewind series, pick up, some of these covers. You can get them and frame them and hang them up as art because, it's dope. But one thing they don't have is a Hoop Spaces hoodie, and we need to change that. We'll be looking at adding in our merchandise as the season opens up and progresses. Head over to hoopspaces.com. You can check out the changes that will be made as we build this process up to show you we're real people with real lives who just simply have a passion for basketball. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Getting ready to talk Sixers and Celtics, Warriors and Lakers. And once again, I leave you with this. Doc Rivers is a great basketball coach. Peace out.